Chapter 574. Yesterday was a hurried day. At dusk, the moon hung in the east, and the sky was full of stars. The silence was thick. It was always late autumn, and the leaves were red when the wind blew. It was getting colder, but the temperature in Suzhou did not change much. When it was hot, it still made people want to hide in the water. The golden rice stood in the field, and the birds were ready to have a big meal, but they were scared away by the moving scarecrows with small windmills on their heads. Zhang Zhong, who was adopted by Lu Zhou, had gradually adapted to the current weather. He was only a little weak, but he could come out and play with the others. He was the oldest, and he had just learned how to speak. He could say short sentences of less than 6 words. He was a little worse than his younger brothers and sisters. The 4 little ones could say, "Please do this with me," very fluently. It would be better if they were not missing teeth. As for the other 2 sisters, they could only say that they were proficient in this sentence. The difference in education was immediately apparent. When autumn came, the 7 little ones liked to sleep more. They did not make any noise when they woke up. They let the servant girls play with them for a while, and then they sat by the river in the courtyard, staring at the fish in a daze. Occasionally, when Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took the time to come over and play with them, they would stand in a row and follow behind the 2 of them as they walked out leisurely. Around them were more than a dozen guards, whether in the open or in the dark. They would go to the streets to look for dough figurines coming out, or to find someone selling pancakes to buy an egg pancake each. Zhang Zhong had handed all the affairs in his mansion to the people in the inner court. Until now, the imperial court had not found out who ordered people to destroy the river embankment. Many of the officials in Suzhou had been dismissed. From the top to the bottom, from those in power to those with no duties, all the officials involved in the secret mining were dismissed. Some were even escorted to the capital, including those who knew about it but did not report it. In the capital, they had originally planned to arrange for a few more people to be promoted to Suzhou, but all the people who were chosen did not want to come. They were all afraid. They were afraid that wherever Zhang Zhong appeared, they would not be able to do well and lose their positions. Luoyang had sent 3 people to take over Taihu County's county magistrate, deputy county magistrate, and registrar general. In the end, they were transferred away after half a month. It was truly not a place for people to stay. Every day, there were tasks from the magistrate court. The workload was too heavy. They, who had developed a lazy habit in Luoyang, could not keep up with the Zhang family's pace. Not only them, but all the local officials in Suzhou also resigned from their positions one after another. They couldn't take it anymore. If they continued to work, they would die of exhaustion. Their vacant positions were directly occupied by the inner courtyards of the Zhang family and Wang family. All of them were substitutes. By autumn, 60% of the officials in Suzhou had been replaced. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan would find useful information from the news reported by fast horses every day. Then they would make adjustments. The people in the inner courtyards also did their best to cooperate, allowing people to see what the Zhang family's speed was. The people of Suzhou could see fast horses running back and forth every day. Sometimes there were even pigeons flying in and out. Even in the farthest county, if something small happened, it would be resolved within 3 days. Others could not compare to such efficiency. Their overall planning could not keep up, and the reaction speed of the officials under them could not compare to the inner courtyards of the Zhang family and Wang family. It was not an exaggeration to say that the people of the Zhang family and Wang family supported the entire Suzhou. The river was still surging, but it could no longer cause any disasters to Suzhou. Even though it rained for 5 days in a row at the beginning of autumn, and several places upstream and downstream were washed away, Suzhou still stood firmly. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had not deceived people for a long time. They spent all their energy on internal affairs. Wang Wan also handed over the work of the garment workshop to her subordinates. She accompanied Zhang Xiaobao and sorted out the information like a secretary. Such a fast development speed was still too slow for the 2 people. The communication was too poor. Even if there were carrier pigeons flying back and forth in the sky, It was still slower than the speed of a phone call. Xiaobao, here is a message from Susong County. It says that a group of beekeepers came from Huangmei County in Linzhou. They stung a few people and asked what to do. Zhang Xiaobao had just put down a thing in his hand when Wang Wan took out a set of materials that had just been delivered. She was not asking what to do if the people were stung. The people in Susong County would not ask such a thing. What she was asking was whether the beekeepers were useful. Zhang Xiaobao had just finished dealing with the matter of burning the mountain and changing the farmland. The county magistrate of Huailing County felt that there were too many trees in Qianshan, so he wanted to turn that area into terraced fields. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's reply was not to agree. They could look at the trees, but they had to cut them down in batches. The trees would be used to build bridges. They had to plant fruit trees in that area immediately and give them to the people who had a lot of free time at home. They had to build a fruit powder factory there to process the fruits into powder. Part of the powder would be left for the sailors, and the other part would be sold to areas with less fruits according to the temperature. At this moment, when he heard Wang Wan's voice, he thought for a moment and said, "Our Chamber of Commerce does not have beekeeping yet. We need honey for medicine. Let the people in the Chamber of Commerce contact them and ask if they can join the Chamber of Commerce. We will expand the scale. The Chamber of Commerce will provide them with all kinds of guarantees. We can even set up a place from the south to the north to raise flowers, sell flowers, and provide raw materials for honey." That's good. They will be sent back and forth from the south to the north. On the way, they can also help to collect information from various places. Also, Wangjiang County said that the crabs and mandarin fish are almost done. Ask if they are selling them. Wang Wan wrote down a thing and took out a piece of paper. First, find the merchants and rich families near the two banks of the Yangtze River and send invitations. They say that there will be a crab tasting party in Taihu Lake. The people who come will receive a beautiful item carved from marble and be the first to walk on the Yangtze River Bridge when it is built. After setting the date and writing clearly on the invitation card, whoever had the best crab tasting ability would be able to obtain a medal issued by the Sea Cloud Chamber of Commerce. With this medal, they would be able to enjoy a 5% discount on any purchase in Sea Cloud Chamber of Commerce. After the people who come set the time, get someone to pick the crabs first and make them into drunken crabs. In addition, the merchants who come to participate can use their own flags as advertisements. They will not charge the advertising fees for the flags. If they want to advertise in Taihu County's restaurants, they will get a 20% discount. Tell Wangjiang County that after the crab tasting party ends, they will hold a fish tasting party in succession and take out the mandarin fish to sell. After a pause, Zhang Xiaobao continued, "Tell Taihu Lake to prepare for the reception. Get Li Sun to sell marble and decorate the restaurant there to be grand on the outside and relaxed on the inside." Wang Wan wrote down this matter and asked, "How do you calculate the cost? Help Wangjiang County sell things. Taihu County has to get some benefits." Cost. Wangjiang County will pay half of the money to build exquisite shops in Taihu County and outside. This money will be paid by Li Sun first. Set up a cruise ship on Taihu Lake and let the local merchants bid. 40% of the money will be given to Wangjiang County, 40% will be given to Taihu County, and the remaining 20% and 10% will be used to let the people who receive the invitation taste local snacks for free. This has to be written clearly. It is free to taste local snacks on the ship. The snacks from outside are not free, and the snacks from outside are not free. The other 10% will be used to hire geisha and scholars. That's it. What else is there? After Zhang Xiaobao solved this problem, he asked again. Wang Wan took out another piece of paper and said, "There's one more thing. The people at the foot of Yangong Mountain reported that there are wild beasts coming down the mountain to hurt people. 4 people are injured, and one of them had his foot bitten. They asked what to do. Train the soldiers. The soldiers of Shuzhou Prefecture have not trained for a long time. Organize a drill. The location is Yangong Mountain. Equip them with crossbows. Let them go to the place and kill some of the large wild beasts on the mountain. It should be because there is not enough food for the carnivores on the mountain. That place belongs to Wangjiang County, right? Zhang Xiaobao asked. Yes, it's Wangjiang County. Send a message to Wangjiang County. Let the people of the inner court prepare a hunting ground. Put chickens and ducks in it to attract some wild beasts to eat. After 2 activities are held in Taihu County, tell the merchants that they can advertise in the hunting ground. They will also have a 20% discount. Also, hold a hunting competition on Yangong Mountain in Wangjiang County. According to the team, the number of people is less than 10. In order to ensure the fairness of the competition, they are not allowed to bring their own defensive weapons. They can be rented locally. The team in first place will be awarded the title of the first warrior. Anyone who obtains this title will hunt and play in Yangong Mountain for free in the future. Every year they can accept challenges from others. If they successfully defend their title, they will receive another medal. When they do business with Hai Yunjian, they will be exempted from 5% of the fees. Taihu County will provide all the poultry and livestock. This time, 30% of the money will be given to Taihu County. Tell Li Sun to release the news in private that whichever team wins will have the opportunity to be recommended to participate in the Imperial Clan hunting activities in the winter. Zhang Xiaobao could not do anything about someone being injured, but he could immediately connect the matter there to Lake Tai. Wang Wan also remembered this matter and said, Xiaobei doesn't like to eat these few days. He's lost weight. What should we do? Deal with the current matters and take them out to play. They've been in the courtyard for a long time, and they don't have much to eat. It'll be fine if they go out to relax. Has the doctor checked? When Zhang Xiaobao heard about his sister, his face was not as serious as before. He had been too busy these days, so the number of times he played with the little ones had decreased. His father was still supervising at Wangjiang, so it was time for him to relax. The matters here were temporarily handed over to the people from the inner court. After the autumn harvest was arranged properly, there was no big deal. The people from the inner court should be able to handle it well. Yes, there's nothing wrong with them. Where are we taking them to play? Wang Wan was also tired these few days and also wanted to go out for a walk. Let's go to the construction site at Wangjiang, Zhang Xiaobao said after thinking for a while. As a result, the orders were sent out one by one. Other than the people from the Zhang family and Wang family, the others did not expect that the people who had arranged Shuzhou so well were actually the 2 families' young ladies and young masters. Such efficiency left others in the dust. When the 7 little ones were put into the house and headed outside, they were no longer in a daze. They all looked very excited and leaned against the window to look outside. Xiaobei also ate more at noon and even ate a big crab. He was only fine after being fed a lot of ginger water. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan each rode a horse and walked around the house. The little ones ran left and right from time to time and made funny faces at their brothers and sisters. After the group left the prefectural city, the 3 old men also appeared outside the prefectural city. They looked at the group in a daze. Master, young Master Xiaobao and the others are leaving. Should we follow them? A person beside Old Man Pai asked. No need, they are taking Xiaobei out to play. There's nothing interesting at Wangjiang. The people arranged there just need to record the steps of the bridge construction. Are you sure that the orders were sent out from Xiaobao and Cuckoo's courtyard? Old Man Pai shook his head and asked the person beside him. He was not stupid. He always wanted to know about the 2 masters of the Zhang family, so he would definitely send someone to watch over them. Zhang family and Wang family seemed to know, no matter what his people did outside. At this time, he and Old Man Yao were the most shocked. It was mainly because the orders were sent out from Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's courtyard. The 3 of them stopped and looked. If it was said that Zhang family and Wang family used tricks to make money in the past, then what they saw in the past 2 months was the other side. When all the orders were issued, it could be seen that there were no tricks. All the orders were the most correct orders. From this, it could be seen that Zhang family and Wang family's true strength, especially the inner courtyard, sent out. As long as it was in Shuzhou, everything, no matter how difficult it was, would be properly solved in 3 days at most. Master, we are sure that the orders were sent out from young Master Xiao Bao's courtyard. Should we send someone to go in and take a look? The person who spoke just now suggested. He meant to go in and look for the two masters of the Zhang family. Now Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, as well as the people in the courtyard, were not there. It was an opportunity. Old Man Pai waved his hand and said, "Absolutely can't go in. Just pretend that it didn't happen. If we really go in, it will cause trouble. Maybe the Zhang family and Wang family will turn against us. Don't think that we can take advantage of every opportunity. It works for other people but not for the Zhang family." That person listened to the order and hurriedly went to arrange it. He was also afraid that someone would not be able to resist going in, thinking that he could make a contribution. For the Zhang family and Wang family, Suzhou is still too small. They can do things with ease. We should find a way to find a better place for them to play. Old Man Pai said with emotion. Old Man Chong and Old Man Yao also agreed with him, especially Old Man Yao. He had been the Prime Minister several times, so he was very clear about the current situation in Suzhou. In the words of Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, it was efficiency. Yes, very powerful means. It gave people the feeling that with the two masters in charge, even if the sky fell down in Suzhou, there was no need to worry. If it were not for the inner courtyards of the Zhang family and Wang family, ordinary officials would not be able to cooperate at all. Orders were passed down one after another. If one didn't know that this was a busy political matter, it would be easy to misunderstand that this was a general who had always been victorious in battle. Unexpectedly, when dealing with political matters, he gave people a kind of elegant and wonderful feeling. Thinking of this, Old Man Yao also sighed with emotion and said, "Good ability. Using justice and surprise to win. This is the real all-rounder. Unfortunately, I have no chance to see it. Now I wonder if there is anything that they can't do. If such a person is put in the position of Prime Minister, I think the Tang Empire will go further." Old Man Chong was also frightened by the orders sent out by the Zhang family during this time. Were they still human? No matter what the problem was, as long as it was sent, a solution would be sent out immediately, as if the people inside knew everything. Especially the 16 orders that were sent out in succession just now. He could only say that it was fear. Using everything that could be used or using all the resources that could be used, the whole Suzhou was at his command. He believed that anyone who knew about this would be full of yearning for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's mysterious courtyard. They would want to go in and see what kind of person had such ability. Old Man Pai also admitted that this person was powerful, but he did not agree with Old Man Yao's words so much. He said, "The main reason why the Zhang family can arrange the autumn harvest in Suzhou so quickly is not because there is a master in charge, but because of the people in the inner courtyard of the Zhang family and Wang family. Without them, no one else could carry out such orders, and they would be busy to death." From the orders, it could be seen that Xiao Bao and Cuckoo's courtyard was only in charge of making a proposal, and there were not many details. Only the people they arranged could fill in the details themselves. If it were someone else, not to mention filling in the details, they would be so busy that they could not complete the task, and they might be exhausted to death. If all the original officials in Suzhou were replaced by people from the inner courtyard of the Zhang family and Wang family, Suzhou's current development would be faster. It's hard for a normal person to get even one of these talents. I don't know how the Zhang and Wang clans taught them, but they're even better than those who passed the imperial examinations. They're able to adapt to all positions. This is the true strength of the Zhang and Wang clans. As long as the people of the inner court don't disperse, no one can beat them down. Old Man Pai was very envious of the Zhang family and Wang family for having so many people who were proficient in government affairs. The talents cultivated by the imperial court could not be compared to the Zhang family and Wang family, let alone the people in his own family. With a sigh, Old Man Pai continued, "This kind of person is impossible for others to rope in even if they wanted to. He actually managed to support an entire province. There are also those from the inner courtyard who did not participate in this. They have all gone to the villages to provide technical guidance to the commoners. If those people could be used as well, I reckon. I reckon that all the officials in Luoyang are dead. As long as the people from the Zhang family and Wang family are around, they can directly fill in the gaps and allow things to continue as usual. Without waiting for Old Man Pai to finish speaking, Old Man Yao interrupted. That's right. It's no wonder that when Zhang Zhong's official position was arranged, his family always had to move to other places. It turns out that it wasn't just for Zhang Zhong to accumulate political achievements, and it wasn't just for him to open up businesses and earn money. It was also to nurture the people of the inner court to adapt to government affairs. Old Man Pai finally understood. However, the more he thought about it, the more afraid he felt. The experts from the Zhang family were too far-sighted. In the future, when they really entered the imperial court and became officials, they would rely on the people they sponsored and the people from the academy. Whenever Zhang Zhong made a decision, such people would definitely be able to smoothly execute it. Even if the people from the inner courtyard of the Zhang family and Wang family could not become officials, they could still be sent to help others. This was how aristocratic families were formed. Other aristocratic families were formed through the efforts of generations of people in the family, but the aristocratic families of the Zhang family and Wang family relied on the people from the inner courtyard to complete it. Old Man Yao also thought of this matter and said worriedly, "Then if the Zhang family and Wang family want to rebel, will there be any problems? The people from the inner courtyard can help them support the entire country. Don't worry about this. If they wanted to rebel, they would have done it long ago. The newly discovered island is not small. As long as they bring the people of Luzhou there, it will be very easy for them to establish a country. After a few years, after they have dealt with the local people and settled down, they will fight back. By then, not just any general can deal with them. They have a map of the entire Tang Empire in their hands, and it is the military type. It is very detailed. Who can stop them? Moreover, since they can develop such a powerful weapon, give them a few years, won't they be able to make even more powerful weapons?" Old Man Pai was very confident in the Zhang family and Wang family. At least he knew the strength of the two families. With such strength, if they did not have other thoughts, how could they rebel in the Tang Empire's territory? While the three old men were sighing and admiring, Zhang Xiaobao's team had already walked a few miles. They were not moving slowly, as they wanted to reach Wangjiang as soon as possible. The 7 little fellows wandered around the house for a while and looked at the surrounding scenery. It was too monotonous. One by one they fell asleep. At this time the speed of the team slowed down a little. When we get there we can eat crabs as much as we want. It's a good place. Maybe we can continue to develop like this in the future. Why do we have to farm? Zhang Xiaobao rode on his horse and went around the house. When he was side by side with Wang Wan, he said, "That won't do. The grain is still not enough. It has not reached the level of the Kaiyuan era. No matter what, we have to continue to farm. However, we can raise crabs in the field, and it can also increase the current rice yield. It's not a good hybrid breed. Unlike later, when it affected the grain yield, we need to use crabs to make up for the price." Wang Wan did not agree with Zhang Xiaobao's words. She felt that it was better to farm. Only when the people had enough to eat, they could do other things. Zhang Xiaobao did not refute. "Then let's farm. See if we can find more people from the capital's agriculture temple. There are many good seeds, but because of the transportation problem, if we want to use such seeds to plant, the cost is too high. Therefore, many places keep their own seeds. There should be no problem. As long as we succeed in raising seeds here, then even if we don't say anything, there will be people who are willing to come here to study and learn. Do you want to rope them in?" Wang Wan could not think of Zhang Xiaobao's plan. "No need. If that's the case, some people will not be willing. I just want to give them some advice and let them take less detours. We can't monopolize the matters of the people's lives. Otherwise, we will face the attacks of those in power." Zhang Xiaobao shook his head and said, "Others could travel faster on horseback, but now it was impossible for a large group to arrive at their destination in just a few days. It seemed that even at the fastest speed, it would take at least 10 days to travel. Moreover, this was under the condition that the road was easy to travel. The 7 little ones could not stay in the house all day. They had to take some time out to play every day. If they encountered something curious, they would have to ask Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to play with them. Therefore, the group traveled for half a month before they arrived at their destination. At this time, the invitations had been sent out. Zhang Zhong's reputation was not small. Everyone who received an invitation agreed to come. Even the local people who had some influence did not refuse. Zhang Xiaobao also understood that they did not come to see their father. They came to establish a connection with the Sea Cloud Chamber of Commerce. Currently, Lu Zhou's things were no longer transported to the capital to be sold. About 1/3 of the amount was left in Xuzhou. Now, the Sea Cloud Chamber of Commerce was still in charge of the transactions. They did not ask for the help of other merchants. Of course, this kind of management method was not good. It was a waste of talent. Any knowledgeable merchant knew that when Zhang Zhong was almost done with the construction here, it would be time for him to leave. Once he left, there would not be so many people from the Sea Cloud Chamber of Commerce working here. They would have to give many of the transactions to the local people. They were waiting for such an opportunity. When the group had just arrived at Wangjiang County, Zhang Xiaobao received a gift from Sanshui County. It was impossible for them to go back this year. Even if the farmers wanted to, they could not do anything. They could only send the best things they thought to the main family. Smoked chicken and roasted chicken could not be kept for too long, so they could not send them. Then what they could send was the local grain. They picked the best rice ears and shipped them with a ship to let the main family see how the harvest was in Sanshui County. The plump rice ears made Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan very happy. This was the real high yield. Although the rice that was sent this time was the best, they thought that it was not bad. It seemed that it was a good idea to let the people from the Sea Agriculture Temple go over. Compared to the previous yield, the current yield was more than 2 times. This was the average yield. If it was better land, it could even reach 3 times the original yield. If this grain was used as seeds, then according to the theory of genetics, the seeds that were researched in the future would yield even more rice. Generation after generation, in just a few years, the grain output of the entire Great Tang would increase by a large margin. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's request was actually not too high. They only wanted to increase the grain yield of the entire Tang dynasty by 1.5 times. This way they would have more than half of the grain, which was not a small amount. The only pity was that the 2 of them did not know the technology of hybrid rice. Otherwise, not to mention the current few people in the Tang dynasty, even if there were 10 times more, there would not be any problems. Wangjiang County was still a large construction site. After the dam that helped to guide the flow of water was repaired, a portion of the people continued to repair the road, and the rest began to repair the bridge under guidance. The speed of the bridge repair was not dependent on how fast the workers were, but on how long it would take for the cement to solidify. Zhang Xiaobao also knew that with the weather here, it was impossible to reach the speed of Shenzhen. If the cement did not dry, was he going to continue to repair it? Although they had used fire to dry it, the effect was not very good. When the 7 little guys came to this dam that had no water, they went crazy. It was the first time they had seen such a big pit, so they were very excited. As long as one of them ran around, the other 6 would follow behind. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan came over, they did not let anyone inform them in advance. When Zhang Zhong saw his son and daughter-in-law, he was also shocked. When he saw the group of little guys, he frowned and called Zhang Xiaobao over. "Everyone here is busy now. Why did you bring them here? Father, you do your thing. We won't cause trouble. With someone watching them, you don't have to worry about their safety. Besides, the people now have a different opinion of you than before. They can also help to ensure the safety of our younger siblings. I just brought them out to play." Zhang Xiaobao explained to his father. In fact, he had other things to say. Zhang Zhong had not seen his younger siblings for a long time. If this continued, it would be easy for his younger siblings to alienate Zhang Zhong. That was not a good thing. Seeing that his son insisted, Zhang Zhong could not drive his son back. He looked at the progress of the construction below and said, "Watch them carefully. Don't fall. Otherwise, both families will be finished." "Father, I know. Don't worry." "Father, shouldn't we get someone to transport the wood here now?" "It seems that the bridge will be built in another half a month. As long as the water doesn't fall, people will start to pass on it." Zhang Xiaobao was very satisfied with the progress of the construction below. The working people were indeed the most hardworking and the wisest. Originally, they had to see how dry the cement was before they could continue the construction. Generally speaking, there was no other way to do this, especially in this era. However, when the commoners were working, they could think of letting a portion of the cement dry a little bit, and then mix it with steel and copper to add to the pile. This way, the cement connection would not be too bad, and at the same time, the pier would dry faster. "Xiaobao, can they do this? The cement is not directly poured in. If they dry it outside, it will be easy for something to go wrong. It's just that the adhesion is not good." Wang Wan asked worriedly as she looked at the people below who were busy. Zhang Xiaobao smiled and said, "Don't worry, there won't be a problem. Even if it's not good, it's better than what we built at that time. At least we didn't pull a thick steel bar into a steel wire. The pier is so clumsy. There's no beauty in it. It's just a little bit of cement. It's not a problem in terms of adhesion. Can it withstand a once-in-a-century flood?" Wang Wan had never studied civil engineering, and she knew that Zhang Xiaobao also did not have the opportunity to learn. She did not understand the current situation. Was it really possible to use such methods? Once-in-a-century flood. There's no such thing as the Three Gorges Reservoir now, so don't worry. At worst, we can just build another one. It's just a matter of money. We don't lack money, and the people working are not the construction team after six-packs. I'll tell you this. Although the construction is not as good as what we built at that time, the quality is definitely not as good as what we built at that time. Haven't you read the information? When the Japanese invaded, the houses built were still in use a few decades before our time. They were very sturdy, and the sewers were not easily blocked. After a flood, the new houses collapsed, but the houses left behind by the Japanese were still fine. Was it because the Japanese were better at that time? That's not the case at all. The most important thing is how much material you use and what kind of steel is used. Our construction team should continue to develop. When the time comes, we can take on all of Tang Dynasty's construction projects. I have already decided on Jingjing Construction Group. Not only does it show the quality of the buildings, but it also shows the attitude of the people in the construction group. I don't believe that we can't change the atmosphere at that time. It's all about money, and there's no morality. The more Zhang Xiaobao thought about it, the angrier he got. Every time there was a flood or a small earthquake, the houses would collapse one by one. It was fine if it was something that had not happened for many years, but the problem was that there were other countries to compare. The same scale of flood, same magnitude of earthquake, and other countries were fine. Even the government had to apologize when they were injured. But when it came to their country, many people died, and they were still bragging about how good it was. How shameless was that? Wang Wan saw Zhang Xiaobao's expression changing as he spoke. She hugged Zhang Xiaobao's arm and said, "You also caused a lot of trouble. You didn't stay in China for long, right? I'm talking about after you started scamming people. Why do you have to do that? Who do you blame? Can you guarantee that ordinary people will also serve the people sincerely when they reach that position one day?" Zhang Xiaobao was stunned for a moment. Wang Wan's words made a lot of sense. Why blame the officials? The officials also worked their way up from being ordinary people. If those black-hearted businessmen didn't earn more money, wouldn't they be ordinary people? This kind of thing was too complicated, and it was impossible to explain it clearly. Every citizen might have been a part of the formation of this system. It was just that the citizens had pushed this system out, but they were hurt by it. If they really wanted to blame someone, they should blame everyone in the Chinese nation. No one should think that they were innocent. Perhaps this was the case for this nation. However, this nation was the only one that still existed after all the other ancient civilizations were gone. How could it be so chaotic? Perhaps it is because of such a race that such a system was introduced. Or perhaps it is because of such a race that others cannot see through that they are still standing strong when other ancient civilizations have fallen. So, what can we do? Zhang Xiaobao felt lost. The more he thought, the more confused he became. What we have to do is not to waste our time in this world. We have to try our best to realize our ideas. We are not saviors, and you don't have to put yourself in such a high position. As long as our families are safe, as long as we can help those who need help, we will have succeeded. Chapter 575. The arrival of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not affect the progress of the construction of this place. The people were still working hard. The autumn harvest was coming. They wanted to finish everything as soon as possible before the autumn harvest. Once the autumn harvest was over, they could continue to work. Zhang Zhong had stayed in this place for a long time and had not returned home. It would be a lie to say that he did not miss home. Now that his children were here, he was very happy. His whole person seemed to have changed. He always had a smile on his face. At noon on the second day after Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan arrived, Zhang Zhong still had a meal with the people here. He called his son and daughter-in-law to accompany him. Xiaobao, Cuckoo, do you think this place can be used again? Why do I feel that building a bridge is not the best way? Zhang Zhong suddenly asked Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan when he was halfway through the meal. Zhang Xiaobao was stunned. He thought for a while and shook his head. Dad, it's not possible. We really can't do anything unless we have better technology. We haven't figured it out yet. We can only decide if we should do other things here after we come out. What technology? Zhang Zhong asked with concern. The technology of the dam. If this technology is mature, we can raise a lot of fish and shrimps in the river. At the same time, it can provide a lot of electricity just like the electric lights in our house. This is an idea. It will probably be realized in a few decades. Zhang Xiaobao swallowed the food in his mouth and said to his father, when that time comes, we can build a big dam at the most dangerous place upstream and raise the water level. Then, the boats that come and go won't have to worry about hitting things, right? Zhang Zhong had also learned a lot of knowledge. When he heard his son's words, he immediately thought about the matter of the upper reaches. Zhang Xiaobao was scared, and so was Wang Wan. She said, no, we can't build a reservoir on the surface. If we do, it won't just be a problem of floods. We can't just ignore the country for money. If we build a large reservoir, the water in the reservoir will cause great damage to the land. Especially that pressure, it would cause the surrounding underground to change. That kind of thing shouldn't be done by us. That's something that only people who don't care about the lives of ordinary people would do. People who treat the entire country as a chessboard would build reservoirs on top of it. In their eyes, the lives of the common people were insignificant. They were like generals in war. In their eyes, there was no loss of soldiers, only victory. For victory, they could sacrifice some soldiers to lure the enemy. We can't do that. We just need to live an ordinary life. If others want to play chess, they can leave it to others. If we really build a reservoir, it will cause the Earth's crust to move. We don't know when there may be earthquakes. Will that really happen? Can't we make use of it? Zhang Zhong didn't doubt Wang Wan's words. After all, in addition to the identity of the daughter-in-law, in the hearts of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were gods. How could gods be wrong? We can make use of it, but we can't make use of it like that. If we can build more small reservoirs, it won't be a problem. If we want to make that waterway unblocked, we can use explosives to blow up the obstacles below. We can blow up a little every year. We don't have to worry about money. After a dozen years, maybe the waterway there will be unblocked, and there won't be too much danger. In addition to this, we also need to build better boats. Dad, don't worry. We have a lot of resources here. As long as they are not robbed, as long as they are not sold at a very low price, we can definitely support the power generation. There will be a day when we can realize this dream. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao also said to his father. He was really worried that his father would do something there and then send this matter to the imperial court. No one knew better than him, and Wang won the consequences of building a large reservoir on top of it. Now was the time for him to prepare to change. What investment? What foreign exchange? No. The things in the country should always be left for their own use. If they were not enough, they should invade others and use the lives of other countries to serve their own country. Wang Wan also nodded at the side. She also thought of this point. Now was the time to take advantage of the fact that other countries had not developed and had not even formed their own countries to plunder resources. The resources they seized would be put aside and used slowly in the future. They would try not to mine their own country's resources first. For example, coal, oil, and rare earths. Such good things must not be allowed to flow out. Otherwise, they would be condemned for eternity. They could not ignore the lives of the people and treat foreign businessmen as their ancestors for the sake of their own political achievements. If Xi and Zhang Xiaobao did not have a chance at that time, then the opportunity was in front of them now. There was still a long time before Columbus came out, so long that Xi and Zhang Xiaobao could not see that day. Zhang Zhong still did not understand the meaning of his son's words. After thinking about it, he found that he could not figure it out and said, "Then do as you say. In short, we can't let anything happen to our country." Zhang Zhong now regarded himself as a member of the country who could control resources and power. Zhang Xiaobao did not say anything this time and agreed to continue eating. After waiting for the meal to finish, Zhang Xiaobao walked elsewhere with a thoughtful expression. It was not until he came to the construction site that he stood there and looked in a daze. Wang Wan did not disturb Zhang Xiaobao just now and followed Zhang Xiaobao out. After waiting for Zhang Xiaobao to stand there for half an hour, she said, "Xiaobao, did you think of something?" "Yes, I have. That is, how should we plunder? This is what I'm thinking now. Since there is still a long time before the development of other places, why don't we seize the good resources as early as possible? For example, the Luzon Island that we found now, we can occupy it first. When I said plunder, I wasn't just talking about coal, oil, and other resources. Even the soil had to be taken into account. Let the local people dig for it. When the time came, the useless soil and sand would be transported back by ship to fill the sea, filling up their own land bit by bit. Once the Great Tang has more people, we can also send them there to excavate. In a few decades, I estimate that we'll be able to fill up quite a bit of land. In the process, all sorts of resources will be discovered one after another, and then brought back and placed in the desert." Zhang Xiaobao said a very crazy idea, which was to dig up other people's land and make it their own. The useful resources were also the same. Wang Wan was stunned for a moment and said, "Are you talking about the foolish old man moving the mountains? That will waste a lot of manpower and material resources. I don't think it will work." "I think it will work. During this process, there will definitely be people who want to improve their efficiency because of the tools. If we provide some help to such people, I think they will be able to research better things such as digging tools and ships for transportation." To put it simply, the essence of this world was the utilization and storage of resources. There was no need to be afraid of wasting manpower and material resources. These were all things that could be recycled. Ships were trees and steel. What humans ate was food. They could continue to expand and plant food in other places. Wood was something that could be planted. As for steel, we can't care too much. We will plunder from the outside. As long as we can guarantee our own, I don't care what will happen to other places in the future. First, we will crazily mine the useful resources, and then we will dig up the land nearby. I don't believe it is impossible for the foolish old man to move the mountains. The technology will not be leaked out, and we will not colonize other places. Otherwise, the people who colonize there will likely become independent as the technology improves. Plunder everything. Zhang Xiaobao was indeed a little crazy. His idea shocked Wang Wan. She pondered for a moment and said, "Then we should start from the places near us, right?" "Yes, that's what I mean. First, we will start from the places near us, and then we will go to other places to plunder. While you still have time, Try your best to write down the resources and choose the good ones to plunder first. Zhang Xiaobao now set his target on Luzon Island. This was the first place he wanted to plunder. After saying these words, Zhang Xiaobao suddenly smiled and said, "Do you think I am talking nonsense? In fact, I think that I may not have so many chances, but if we can make the people of Tang think of such things, it will be enough." So what? You have to know that in the world, when separated for a long time, it will unite, and when united for a long time, it will divide. We have been glorious before, but didn't other countries also become glorious later? Wang Wan sighed and said, "Perhaps this was the helplessness of many emperors. They could do a lot of things when they were in power, but they could not make others do what they wanted. No wonder Qin Shi Huang always wanted to find the elixir of immortality." Now she understood. It was not that he wanted to live a long life, but he wanted to do more things. "Do you want to find a way to live a long life?" Wang Wan asked Zhang Xiaobao. "Yes, and I know that it is possible, but it is definitely not a day we can wait for. In fact, what people are afraid of is not the death of the body, but the disappearance of consciousness. In that case, we will never know what will happen in the future. The fear of death is actually the attachment to the development of this world." Zhang Xiaobao exhaled and said. But this matter did not affect his view of this world. He still had to plunder. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan originally came to this place to relax, but they did not expect to become depressed. The more they thought about things, the more it affected them. In order to improve their mood, the two began to play with the 7 little guys all day. The 7 little guys did not care about what their brother and sister were thinking. Fezheng and the others were happy now, and Xiao Bei could eat a lot more. Their bodies were not as thin as they were a few days ago. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were relieved. At this time, the invited businessmen came to Suzhou one after another. They were all businessmen from the surrounding provinces. Needless to say, they had received the invitation. Even those who did not receive the invitation came with them. They wanted to see what the Zhang family could do here. What attracted them here was not the business itself, but the method. They also wanted to learn. Compared to those students, businessmen like them were the easiest to learn. As long as there was a way to make money, they would definitely not miss it. At this time, a few businessmen came over to Lake Tai. This place had not been completely built yet. The houses that were supposed to be demolished had not been demolished yet. They were not in a hurry. They just waited here. It just so happened that they could see how others did things with their own eyes. In the process of watching, they kept discussing. Some said it was good, some said it wasn't. In short, there were all kinds of opinions. As for whether it was good or not, they didn't know now. Everything would have to wait until this matter was over before they could come to a conclusion. If it was good, they would naturally learn. If it wasn't, they would think of ways to avoid it in the future. "Boss Zhang, look at how busy they are right now. What if they don't get anything when the time comes? Will they just sit there and do nothing? If it were me, I wouldn't do that. If they lose, it won't be a problem of losing dozens or hundreds of strings of coins." Among these people, one of them felt that what he saw in front of him was not so reasonable, so he said to another person beside him. When he spoke, it seemed that he came here to belittle Zhang clan. At this time, Wei Wei smiled and said, "That's why you can never reach the achievements of the Zhang family and the Wang family. It's because you can't even see their current arrangement clearly. This is not a simple matter of business. There are more things involved." "Oh, things. What things? Can you tell Boss Zhang in detail?" At this time, another person was very curious and came over to ask. Boss Zhang seemed to enjoy being questioned like this. He continued to maintain his smile and said, "They said they wanted us to come over and eat. In fact, their real intention is to use this opportunity to let us compete with each other. This is the most important thing. It's not ordinary. They are really not what we can think of. If it were me in such a disaster situation, I would never do such a thing. This time it will probably cost a lot of money. There's no other way. There's really no other way." Boss Zhang looked very helpless when he spoke. His eyes looked at the faces of the other people as if he wanted to see something from their faces. His words immediately made the others feel disgusted. The person who spoke just now said, "So what? Can they make us voluntarily pay now? We are not people from Suzhou. No matter how powerful Zhang Zhong is, he can't control us, right?" This person said and really thought so. He now looked down on the Zhang family's methods even more. Wasn't it just to let other businessmen compete with them so that they could get their own benefits? If he didn't participate, what could they do? He believed that there were many people like him. When everyone thought like this matter would be a failure. The two people next to Boss Zhang also thought so. They also decided not to participate. Not only that, they even thought about it. When other businessmen came over, they would tell them about this matter. Everyone would join forces to boycott the Zhang family. They would let the Zhang family know that there was no need to use such methods on them. Seeing their expressions, Zhang Dongjia also knew what they were thinking. He shook his head. How could he not know about this matter? The problem was that he was looking further ahead. If they wanted to resist the Zhang family, it would be too difficult. They shouldn't even think about it. How could ordinary people see through the Zhang family's methods? Before he could speak, another person who thought more deeply said, "Do you really think that the Zhang family can't do anything to you? As long as they take out a new good thing and say that this thing will only be given to the person who spends the most money this time, don't you want to get it?" "What new thing? Do you already know, Boss Li? Hurry up and tell us. We still know a thing or two about the Zhang family. As long as it's from them, it definitely won't be bad." A businessman who just wanted to stop the Zhang family from getting what they wanted couldn't control himself anymore. He curiously asked the person who just spoke. It seemed that he was ready to get some benefits from this. It wasn't just him. Several other businessmen also came over curiously, wanting to hear the news that others didn't know. Seeing them like this, Boss Li shook his head. "Actually, I don't know. I'm just saying. You haven't really seen the thing yet, and you're already like this. If you really see the thing, can you still think of a way to boycott the Zhang family like you did just now?" These words made several people feel embarrassed. Indeed, it would be a lie if they said that they weren't tempted. Even if they felt uncomfortable, they didn't want to miss out on something that could make money. At this time, the person who first spoke said, "Then should we unite after the Zhang family really takes out a new thing and not let them get what they want? This should be." The person who just echoed his words was obviously not confident at this time. Everyone knew that if that thing could be obtained by anyone, it wouldn't be valuable. Everyone wanted to keep it for themselves. "Everyone, please listen to me. Don't always think of boycotting the Zhang family, and don't insist on getting too many benefits from this matter. What we need to think about now is not this, but how to build a good relationship with the Zhang family. If we support them, then even if we don't get too many benefits this time, they won't forget about us when there are benefits in the future. That's all I have to say. If anyone wants to deal with the Zhang family, you can do it yourself. Don't involve me. I don't have so much time to do such a thing. I'm really afraid. I'm afraid that the Zhang family will deal with me after I deal with them. Although my family has a lot of money, I'm still worried when facing the Zhang family and the Wang family. I don't even think about any possibility of winning. Just do as you see fit." The alliance that the others were thinking about just now hadn't been formed yet. With his words, it was announced that it was broken. One by one, they no longer wanted to deal with the Zhang family. As he said just now, if they dealt with the Zhang family this time, the Zhang family wouldn't suffer too much loss. But when the Zhang family turned around to deal with them, things wouldn't be so simple. Then what should we do? Do we really have to spend money to advertise ourselves? The person from just now said at this time. He seemed very sad and pitiful, but at this time no one was willing to get involved with him. It didn't matter whether they were advertising or not. What was important was to let the Zhang family remember them as people. Boss Li also said on the side, "Anyway, I've already thought about it. I'll give them the money as soon as the advertisement is released. It doesn't matter if it's more expensive. You can do whatever you want. Remember, don't drag me into this." I also don't have the ability to deal with the Zhang family. As soon as he said this, more people became discouraged. At this moment they also thought clearly that they had to spend money. Otherwise they might not even have the opportunity to spend money when the time came. They could control themselves and bring their friends to deal with the Zhang family. Not to mention the possibility, even if they succeeded, would many people from other places listen to them? Originally there was already competition. Now there was no need to talk about it. As long as one person was in the limelight, the others would have no choice but to follow suit. After all, the Zhang family had arranged for people to wait for them. Yes, I don't care if they spend money or not. I just want to know if the Zhang family can come up with something new this time. If they do, I hope that everyone will show mercy when the time comes to snatch it. A person who had been silent all this while started to discuss with the others at this time. He wanted to get a share of the good stuff that the Zhang family really came up with. He had a good idea, but when others heard his words, they were dissatisfied. Why did he not let them participate in the competition for the good stuff? Was he going to share the benefits after he got the good stuff? Sure enough, the person who had been the most troublesome spoke again at this time. What you said is wrong. Don't tell me that the new thing that might come up with really belongs to you. Isn't this a discussion? We all come from the same place. If we can help each other, please help each other. When the person who had a good idea heard that someone was unhappy, he smiled and started to play the emotional card. But the person who had spoken just now did not give him face. As soon as he finished speaking, he continued, "Since that's the case, we all come from the same place and should help each other. How about this? When the Zhang family really comes up with something new and I get it, you guys help me out." Why should I? The person who had played the emotional card got angry. Yeah, why should I? How can you not let others get involved? I don't care so much. When the time comes, I will definitely get it. Don't you think so, Mr. Li? The person said again. As soon as he said that, the atmosphere among the crowd changed. It was as if everyone around them was a competitor. They no longer looked like they were about to join forces to deal with the Zhang family. Li Dongjie sighed. In the beginning, he also wanted to unite everyone so that they could share the good things together. Now it seemed that this was not possible. Each and every one of them was very selfish. For their own benefits, they would absolutely not care about others. When the time came, it would be a competition of who had more money and who had the guts to compete. Forget it. Let's not talk about this first. The reason why we came so early is because we want to see how the Zhang family is doing. It's good that we all have a look. I think we should look at it separately and not together. When Li Dongjie said these words, he seemed very helpless. He didn't have a better way. If others wanted to compete, he would definitely not give in. Since the words had already been said, there was no meaning in staying together. It was better for everyone to do their own things. Those who wanted to watch could watch, and those who didn't could rest. At this time, people with different thoughts didn't need others to say more. One by one, they found a very bad excuse to leave. Even Zhang Dongjie didn't know what to say. He also followed behind others and gave a reason to leave. The people who separated not only wanted to see how the Zhang family was doing in this place, but also wanted to find a way to contact the Zhang family and talk to the Zhang family in advance. Each of them had their own judgment. While they were wandering around with the people around them, most of them were inquiring about how to handle the advertisement this time. Their thoughts were pretty much the same, as expected of people who came from the same place. Mr. Zhang first found someone who was familiar with the situation here and gave him 20 copper coins. He wanted to ask the other party to help him. However, the other party sneered and said, "This money is too much. It's a bit of a burden to hold on to. You should find someone else." How could Mr. Zhang not understand the meaning in his words? The other party was saying that he gave too little money. 20 copper coins, how many things could he buy with that money? How could he be so dissatisfied? If it was a normal time, he would definitely not care about this person. However, this person was said to know the most in Taihu County. Suppressing the anger in his heart, he asked the person next to him to take out a stack of coins. When he handed it over, he said, "You have to see this. When my matter is done, it's all yours. If it's not done. He did not say the rest of the words, but the meaning was very clear. This was a commonly used method, and it was very effective. He had already thought about it. Even if the matter was done in the end, he would not give this person so much money. It was already good enough to take out a few dozen copper coins. How could a piece of information be worth that much? His idea was good, but the other party did not compromise. He said, "Pay me the deposit first. If it's done, then you have to give me the other one. If it's not done, it's not that I can't do it, it's that it's too difficult. There's no need to say anything else. I think you're looking for death." Before Zhang Dongjia could say anything, one of his followers stepped forward and grabbed the man's collar. It seemed that if the man didn't compromise, he was going to beat him up. "I think you're the one looking for death. You can try to touch me. Look carefully where you are. This is Shuzhou, not your territory. If you touch me, I'll make you regret being born in this world." This person did not care at all. Shuzhou was now very strict in terms of public security. If anyone caused trouble here, then the bailiffs would have to deal with it. Mr. Zhang did not stop him just now because he wanted to see the other party's reaction. Now that he saw it, he immediately called him back. He said with a smile, "If that's the case, then it's settled. I'll give you the deposit first. After it's done, I'll give you the other one. Give me the deposit first. I was scared just now and I feel uncomfortable. I won't do anything without the deposit. If you have the ability, then do it in Taihu County. Let's see who loses in the end." This person was also insatiable. He did not care whether he could get the money or not. If Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw this person, they would admire him very much. He was able to fight for more benefits for himself according to the changes in the situation. He was a talent. If he was properly trained, he could definitely be sent to the outside world. He was the kind that they would be more assured of. Just as Zhang Dongjia was infuriated and hesitating, a few more merchants appeared behind him. He had never seen them before and did not know which state they were from. These merchants also took out money to inquire about the situation for the local people as they walked. Seeing this situation, Mr. Zhang did not dare to hesitate anymore. He immediately nodded and said, "Okay, we'll give you the deposit. Take us to find the person first. Someone give him the deposit." The person next to him was very dissatisfied and stuffed the deposit into the hands of this person. He did not forget to glare at him, which meant, "If you dare to lie." This person was satisfied. He weighed the copper coins in his hand and said, "No problem. Follow me. I'll take you to find the person. Isn't it the person in charge of the Zhang family here? It's simple." As he spoke, he walked in front with a large string of copper coins. He did not care about the other people who asked him. He gave people the feeling that he had professional ethics. Mr. Zhang waved his hand and signaled for the others to follow him. They walked forward behind this person. After walking less than 30 steps, the group stopped. "What's going on?" Mr. Zhang's follower ran to the front and asked this person, "What do you mean what's going on?" "Or here. Look, it's this house. The person in charge of the government is inside. You can go in. I'll continue to wait outside," this person said confidently. The others hated that they could not bite him to death. It was just a few steps. Could it be that they had reached the place? Zhang Dongjia looked at the house in disbelief. As he looked, he nodded his head. He couldn't say a word. It was too infuriating. Who was this? The sign was erected, but why was the paint on the sign and the base of the sign the same color? The words were not small, but one could not see the date. Even if a random person strolled around, they would not find this place at first glance. "How is it? I didn't lie to you, right? This is the place. Why aren't you going in?" This person said as he looked left and right. He came to a door at the side and went in. Mr. Zhang and the others could not say anything. They could only follow him in one by one. After entering, they saw that the person who brought them here was standing at the side with a smile on his face. Why did you come here?" One of Mr. Zhang's followers asked puzzledly. Why can't I be in this place? I'm a helper in this place. I'm here to help other people. This person did not have the slightest bit of embarrassment as he said with a smile. This time Mr. Zhang and the others knew that they were tricked. They wanted to say something but they found that no matter what they could not say. Who told them to be willing to spend this money? This person seemed to know what Mr. Zhang and the others meant. He said, "Isn't it just 2 strings of money? I know you won't give me the rest of the money. At the beginning, I was not prepared to ask you for the other 2 strings of money. This is not my fault. If you want to blame someone, blame yourselves. Why are you blaming us?" The follower continued to fulfill his duty and asked from the side. "Course it's your own business. Who told you not to take the normal route? This activity is fair and just. If everyone is like you, then what's the point? I am a local and I want to be a better local. When I heard the person in charge here say that people like you will appear, we came out to find something to do. Since you are here, then take this thing. Don't say that you didn't gain anything. It's just 1, and I'll give it to you in advance. Otherwise you will have to wait for 3 days before it will come to you. Take a look yourselves and see if you can find any tricks in it. If you can, then that's your ability. If you can't, then don't blame me." As this person spoke, he took out a few beautifully printed pieces of colored paper from his arms. He reached out and handed it to everyone. At the same time, he did not forget to weigh the 2 strings of money in his hand. Mr. Zhang took the paper and looked at it carefully. There were pictures and introductory words on it. He nodded. His heart was balanced. At least he got it earlier than others. But the follower beside him was not comfortable. He looked at the person who led the way and asked angrily, "Don't you think that you are going too far? Can't you be a little more reasonable? Do you have any morals? Don't you feel uncomfortable spending the 2 strings of money?" "Thank you for the compliment. I don't feel uncomfortable at all. Is there anything else? Do you want to give me the other 2 strings of money? Then I am even more grateful." This person smiled and did not feel the slightest bit embarrassed as he said to Zhang Dongjia and the others, "Let's go and find a place to have a good look." Mr. Zhang got the thing and did not want to talk nonsense. He had seen many people like this. It was useless to talk about morals with such people. It was a waste of time. After speaking, Mr. Zhang turned and left. The others also left with him. The remaining person who took the money had a smile on his face. Zhang Dongjia looked at the promotional materials as he walked. He wanted to find something that he could use. Since the person just now said that it was impossible for him to use other means, then it must be the Zhang family that requested it. No matter how he thought about it, he couldn't do anything to them. It was better to honestly look for something useful in this material. As they looked and walked, they found a good inn. This inn had just been renovated and looked very beautiful. After paying the money, the group stayed in. They did not go to the 2nd floor. They directly found a good place near the window in the hall and ordered a few dishes. They waited for a while to eat and study the content of the information together. "Master, why do we have to do it in this hall? It is too messy. Why don't we go to the 2nd floor?" A follower said with concern at this time. "Stupid. Can we hear anything useful on the 2nd floor? All of you listen carefully. As long as you hear something that is useful to us, remember it or go and ask carefully." Zhang Dongjia said to his sidekick and began to look at the information there. The person who followed him here understood that he wanted to inquire about useful information in such a place. Master was indeed master. He was much smarter than others. Not long after, the food and wine were served. The few people ate together. As soon as they ate, their ears stood up. In fact, they did not need to stand up. They could hear it. The 3 people who were talking were at the table next to them. "Boss, do you think that Wangjiang place will be washed away by the water? When spring comes next year, will they still be able to live a good life like us?" One of the 3 people asked another person. The person who was called boss nodded and then shook his head. He said, "I don't know. I think that place should be good. Aren't they raising fish now? It is a pity that some people's family members died. Today, the government only provides them with a portion of food. It is hard to say about other things. What I am worried about is how they will survive this winter. Even if we are not as cold as the north, what if it snows? They are quite pitiful. I don't know what to do. At this time, the person who spoke just now said, "Boss, I think we should help them. Isn't there someone in our place who said that the rich people should donate money? Why don't we not drink this meal and donate the money we saved? We can't watch them be sad." Second brother is right. I don't want meat. I just want to eat some dishes and rice. I will save money to give to the people who need it. I heard that this matter was organized by the government. I don't know if it is true or not. Could it be that the government has no money? I heard that the Zhang family is very rich. How did it become like this? Another person chimed in from the side. Who knows? Third brother, you really don't want meat. Then I won't order it. Don't complain when the time comes. Who can guess the government's matters? It is good that the Zhang family is rich, but we can't let the Zhang family pay for everything, right? Their money doesn't grow on trees. In fact, I think this is really good. There are so many people in Suzhou. If one person takes out a few copper coins, it will be a few thousand strings of coins. It should be no problem to help Wang Jiang buy some clothes in winter. The old man didn't know what was going on, so he said to his two brothers, "Big brother is right, I also agree. We won't eat meat today and we won't drink wine either. We'll donate the 10 copper coins we saved from the meal. Today we've helped them. If one day we're in trouble, I think they'll help us too. Who hasn't met with difficulties before?" The second brother made up his mind. Even if he wanted to eat meat and drink wine very much, he could only save a dozen copper coins per person. This money could at least buy a set of winter clothes for a family in Wangjiang. The words of the three people were heard by Zhang Dongjia and the others. They were very surprised. They didn't expect that the people of Taihu Lake, which was so far away from Wangjiang, would be willing to pay. They had never seen this before. It was really strange. They didn't know how much money they could get. "Master, if one person takes out a copper coin, it's not a small amount. Do you think someone will embezzle this money?" the attendant said to Zhang Dongjia. He blinked his eyes and seemed to be very concerned about this money, even if he didn't have a share in it. "Don't talk nonsense. What others do is their business. If you say something wrong, be careful of being punished. However, I don't think anyone will embezzle this money. After all, Lord Zhang's family doesn't lack money. If the people below dare to embezzle, then they can only wait to be arrested. Don't think about anything else, listen more." Zhang Dongjia didn't dare to talk too much about this matter. He said to the attendant and began to bury himself in eating. His attention was on the three people. When the attendant saw that the master didn't allow him to say anything, he didn't say anything. He listened to the dishes ordered by the three people. They were really vegetarian dishes, and only 2 of them were ordered. The rest was rice. Looking at the 3 people, they didn't seem to be the kind of people who didn't eat meat. The 3 people looked very strong. "Boss, why is this dish so delicious today? I didn't think so before. When I think about how the money saved can help others, I feel comfortable eating it." The second brother soaked the rice in the vegetable soup and ate quickly. He didn't even swallow the rice in his mouth before he began to talk. The third brother also nodded fiercely. His mouth was already stuffed with rice and he couldn't speak. The eldest brother didn't eat like his brothers. The boss didn't eat like his 2 brothers. He slowly chewed and said after a while, "Of course I'm happy to be able to help others. Let's eat. If it really doesn't work, we can save money tonight. 1 more person means 1 more person. It's not easy for them either. Someone actually dug up the embankment. If I find out who did it, I'll cook that person and eat him." His words were scary, but no one around him felt that he was going overboard. The person who was really going overboard was the person who destroyed the embankment. He was really too hateful. Such a person should be bitten to death by each of them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to vent their hatred. Just as the three of them were talking, four people came in from outside the restaurant. One of them was holding a box in his hand. Many people didn't recognize the donation words written on it. When the four of them came in, they didn't go to any of the tables. It was obvious that they weren't here to eat. One of them looked at the people in the hall and said, "Is there anyone who is willing to donate money to the people of Wangjiang? It's almost winter. The people there don't have it easy." After asking this, he didn't say anything else. The people in the hall looked over. The three people who said they wanted to take money immediately came over. They took out money from their arms and threw it into the box. The third brother even reminded, "The money we donate must be used on the people of Wangjiang to buy clothes for them." "Thank you. We'll remember your words. We'll definitely buy clothes." The person who spoke nodded in agreement. With someone taking the lead, the others also took out money. None of them regretted it at all. At the same time, they weren't worried that someone would embezzle their money. They knew what kind of person Provincial Governor Zhang was. If someone really dared to do that at this time, they would die happily. In the end, everyone in the hall had basically paid for it. The only people who hadn't paid were Mr. Zhang and the others. They couldn't understand why these people would pay for it. It was obvious that some of them didn't come from rich families. Before they could react to whether they should donate or not, the four of them had already thanked them again. They turned around and prepared to leave. At this moment, a person came in from outside. When Boss Zhang and the others saw the person who came in, they were so angry that they couldn't eat. It was the person who had cheated them of their money. The lackey muttered, "Humph, he came to eat after cheating us of our money. What kind of person is he?" As soon as he finished speaking, he saw the person take out 2 strings of money and put them into the box. Then he took out a small string of 30 to 40 copper coins and threw them into the box. The weight of more than 10 kilograms made the person holding the box bend down. After all, there was already money in the box. The person in charge of receiving the donation looked at the person's clothes and found that he was not from a rich family, so he said, "Mr. Zhang, you're not from a rich family." He said, "This brother, you don't have to take out all your money. You still have to live. Just take out a little bit and you will be grateful." "It's okay. I got this money happily by cheating others. Those people are very silly and interesting. I donated it. In fact, when I was cheating them, I thought about it. They are so rich, so it's better to give some to those who need it. It's not my money. If you want to thank someone, you should thank the people who were cheated. AI. Just them." The person shook his head and didn't mean to take the money back. When he was talking, he suddenly saw a few people sitting there eating. He pointed his finger and pointed at Boss Zhang and the others. After he finished speaking, he left. The person in charge of donating heard the person's words, turned around and said to Boss Zhang, "Thank you. We will definitely use your money well. We will never waste a single copper coin." When these words were said, Zhang Dongjia's face immediately turned red. Just now they didn't pay, but the person who cheated them took out their own money as well as theirs. Moreover, he wasn't greedy. This made them feel very uncomfortable. Seeing that the person in charge of donating was about to leave, Boss Zhang immediately shouted, "Wait, we will also pay. Take out 10 strings of cash and give it to them." The last sentence was naturally said to his subordinates. In fact, the subordinates didn't bring much money with them. It was too heavy, but it wasn't a problem for them to gather 10 strings of cash together. The follower who always liked to talk wanted to remind him, but after seeing the old man's eyes, he didn't dare to say anything. They all took the money and gathered 10 strings of cash. The person in charge of donating saw the 10 strings of cash and smiled. "You are not local, right? Can you tell us why you are here? What else can we do? Of course, we received an invitation, so we ran here. Otherwise, who would come to Taihu County for no reason?" When the follower talked about the invitation, he was very proud. It seemed that being able to receive an invitation was a very honorable thing. "Is that so? Then I have to thank you even more." "Thank you." The person in charge of donating thanked him again, which made Boss Zhang's expression change again. He could only say, I didn't bring too much money with me today. I'll bring more money tomorrow. I promise here that it will be at least 100 strings of cash. My surname is Zhang." As he spoke, he took out the invitation and showed it to the person in charge of donating. The person looked at it seriously and didn't say anything. He nodded and left. After that, everyone continued to eat and drink as if nothing had happened. However, they were very happy in their hearts, as if they had done the greatest thing in their lives. After waiting for a quarter of an hour, some people got up and left and some people came back. 2 people came to the door. From their clothes, it could be seen that they were from the government. When the 2 people saw the house, they looked at Boss Zhang. They walked over with a smile and said, "Excuse me, are you Boss Zhang? It's my master. May I know who you are?" The follower obviously knew, but he still had to ask. "The 2 of us are officials from Taihu County. We have heard about what happened just now." "Thank you, Boss Zhang. I didn't know that Boss Zhang was also free. My master would like to invite you." One of the 2 came over and said with a smile on his face. He even made an inviting gesture. "Who is your family's master?" This time it was not the follower who spoke, but Boss Zhang. He was very curious and wanted to know the purpose of the other party. "My master is the person in charge of this matter. He wants to talk to Boss Zhang about this advertisement." "Boss Zhang, don't worry. The money for this advertisement will definitely be less than others. My master said that because of your kindness you should do this." The official explained at the side. Zhang Dongjia was stunned, really stunned. He really didn't expect that because of his money, there would suddenly be hope for a hopeless matter. How could he not be surprised? He nodded fiercely and said, "Okay, I will definitely go." "Is it now?" "Yes, please follow me, Boss Zhang." The runner nodded and said. Now Boss Zhang and the others were happy. Turned out that things were so simple. Why didn't they think of it before? A group of people followed behind the runner and left. This made the people eating in the hall feel that it was a good thing. After all, Boss Zhang did pay, and he paid a lot of money. Under such circumstances, some people immediately ran out to report to their bosses. Among them, there were also people who came later. Especially some people whose bosses were eating on the second floor. They could just run up there. If everyone could gain benefits through such a thing and miss the opportunity because they reported late, they would definitely be punished. Some people thought this way while others thought of other places. They also ran out and prepared to sell this news to people who were not clear about this matter. When they got the money, they thought about it and took it all out. As long as they could help a little, they would help a little. There was strength in numbers. Zhang Dongjia didn't know what the others were thinking. He followed the bailiff all the way to a room. This room was also so inconspicuous. As soon as he entered, a person greeted him and said with a smile, "Zhang Dongjia is indeed a trustworthy person. Many thanks. Please come in, don't stand at the door." Zhang Dongjia didn't know what the bailiff was thinking. Boss Zhang and the others were led in confusion. They looked around and did not know what to say for a while. At this time that person took the initiative to say, "Boss Zhang, do you have a lot of questions?" "Don't worry, I know what Boss Zhang is thinking." "Yes, that's right. Because Boss Zhang paid. I personally called Boss Zhang to discuss the matter of the advertisement. If Boss Zhang needs anything in the future, you can look for me." "Why is that?" Zhang Dongjia really couldn't figure it out. He really wanted to understand this matter. Boss Zhang should be asking why a lot of people were invited, right? It is to find a lot of people to pay. In fact, it is very simple. It is not that our master can't afford it. Zhang family's money is enough. But the master is thinking about how to get more people to donate their love. Money is a small matter, but if the people in this place do not even have this little bit of love, then it is the most sad thing. So, Boss Zhang, do you understand? That person continued to explain to Boss Zhang. Boss Zhang nodded and understood. It turned out that the purpose of Zhang Zhong here was to let the local people to work with them, not because they were really short of money. It seemed that he had thought wrongly. But the more he thought about it, the more surprised Boss Zhang was. He had never seen such an official. Amazing, not just an ordinary kind of amazing. Thinking about it, with such an official, this place would become better and better in the future. He really did not come to the wrong place this time. Since it was like this, then he could not take out less money. Just consider it as the advertising fee. Boss Zhang thought so and said, I still want to take out more money. After all, the people in this place are not easy. I don't know if you can give me such an opportunity. Boss Zhang was obviously taking out money, but he was very afraid. He was afraid that the other party would not agree to his proposal. If that was the case, he did not know what to do. This time he must seize the opportunity. His followers also had the same idea. It was really difficult to find such an opportunity. Okay, as long as Boss Zhang is willing to pay, we will accept. But you can't pay too much. After all, this is only a small matter. It must not affect Boss Zhang's business. How about this? Boss Zhang's money will be double the advertising fee. That is to say, Boss Zhang's money will be double the advertising fee. In fact, we don't care how much the advertising fee is. What we care about is the people's hearts. The person in charge of the reception was very good at talking. When he heard that Boss Zhang was willing to take out more money, he immediately linked the money with the advertising fee. In this way, other people would follow suit. Don't they want to curry favor with the Zhang family? Hearing this person's words, Zhang Dongjia let out a sigh of relief. This time he wasn't worried. He had taken out the money. Not only could he gain a good reputation, but he could also gain more benefits. It seemed that being a good person was better than being a profiteer. After the matter was settled, Boss Zhang didn't continue to stay. He still had to go back and find people to get the money. At this time, he didn't want to go back on his words. If other people knew, where would he put his face? When Zhang Dongjia left, the others naturally followed behind him. This news seemed to have grown wings as it quickly spread among the other merchants. This wasn't something that Zhang Dongjia said himself, but rather someone who helped him spread the news. After these merchants knew about this matter, they were very excited. It was as if a great opportunity was right in front of them. As a result, more people began to look for the person in charge of the donation, hoping to have a relationship with the Zhang family. At this time, the person in charge of the donation was very busy. He didn't expect that there would be so many people willing to pay. Seems that the strategy was successful. It was not easy, it was really not easy. The merchant's donation also attracted the other commoners, and the commoners also came over. Chapter 576. A vigorous donation campaign was launched. Most of the merchants did it for the sake of benefits, while a small number of them really wanted to help the people of Wangjiang County. The people of Shuzhou who were not affected by the disaster also gave their money. As a result, when the crab tasting activity began, the entire Shuzhou had already raised 300,000 strings of cash from the people. The local people did not donate much. Each family donated a few copper coins, a dozen copper coins, or dozens of copper coins. Very few people took out a lot of money. The largest number of donations came from merchants and dignitaries who went to Lake Tai. They had different purposes, and they gave at least a few hundred strings of cash. Some even took out thousands of strings of cash. While showing their generosity, they mainly wanted to have a chance to eat crabs with Bai Go and Yao Chong. The three old men were used just like that. They ate and chatted in exchange for the reconstruction funds of the Wangjiang area. When Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao found out that they had been sold for such a high price, they could not describe their feelings at that time. 300,000 strings of cash. Whether it was the Zhang family and Wang family or Li Sun, it was impossible to raise so much money in a short period of time. If they really took it out at once without caring about the consequences, it would be almost like breaking their bones. Before going to Lake Tai to eat and chat, the three old men took a big detour and first found Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who were still playing with their younger siblings. With such a large sum of money, the three of them wanted to ask where the Zhang family was going to use it. Xiaobao, Tell me, are you planning to give the 300,000 strings of cash directly to the people of Wangjiang or keep it for the construction of Suzhou? If it's the latter, you have to tell the donor. When Old Man Pai found Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, the two of them were fishing with their younger siblings in a water bubble here. Old Man Pai also brought Lu in air and Wei Wei over. Seeing that Zhang Xiaobao had caught a fish, the little guys shouted, "Fishy!" and went up to Zhang Xiaobao to ask. The fish was only 3 inches long. He plucked it and placed it in a large basin filled with water. The 7 little guys squatted there and stretched out their hands to catch it, but they couldn't catch it. After putting on the bait again and throwing the hook into the water, Zhang Xiaobao wiped his hands and answered, "It doesn't have to be in the entire Suzhou. All the money donated to Wangjiang County will be used on the people of Wangjiang County. A small portion will be used to buy daily necessities directly. It's cheaper to buy them all together. Most of the money will be used to build houses." How many houses do you need that much money to build? Don't tell me your family wants to. Old Man Pai didn't finish his sentence, but his meaning was clear. Zhang Xiaobao chuckled. Grandpa Bai, I didn't think of this at first, but your words reminded me that 20,000 strings of cash is enough to build houses for the victims. The rest of the money can be considered as a reward for my father's hard work. It's only right for you to work hard. Hurry up and tell me, how are you going to use the money? If you don't tell me, I won't go to Lake Tai anymore. Do you think it's easy for me to go there? The people who have the money are either preparing to contact us or the officials in the capital, or they want to give their children to us. Old Man Bai threatened. What he said was not wrong. Otherwise, why would the merchants be so generous? Even if the children at home were to come over and stay for a few days, to be able to let the 2 prominent figures from back then guide them in their studies, it would be a glorious thing to say. Zhang Xiaobao had no choice but to compromise. Grandpa Bai, you have to go. If you don't go, are you going to return the money to them? How much money is used to build a house depends on what kind of house is built and where it is built. When the bridge is built, is it just to make it convenient for others to travel between the 2 sides of the river? The money for the bridge is paid by my family. Even if you want to do a good deed, you can't do that. These words piqued the curiosity of the 3 old men. Even Exiner came over. She was now in charge of her own business and had a small net worth. She didn't dare to say how much she had, but if she added up the fixed assets and liquid assets, she could get 10,000 strings of cash. She was most curious about things that could make money. The 10,000 strings of cash didn't include the money for the dolls she made. She was truly a rich woman. With her family background, many people would find people to come over and ask to marry her in advance. Not only could they get official help from the Bai family, but they could also get Exiner's own ability to make money. Zhang Xiaobao pointed at the dam in the middle of the new river and said, "There will be a big restaurant built in that place. It will be completely made of wood with 3 floors. It will go from east to west, and it will be 1,000 feet long. There will be a place for entertainment at the back. It will take up the entire dam. In the future, the dam will be widened. The furniture used inside will be provided by my family. We'll sell it at a cheaper price. We'll sell it at a 20% discount from the normal market price." Grandpa Bai, how much do you think such a restaurant will cost? Apart from the restaurant, we'll also build a large market where we're standing. With the bridge, the people on both sides of the river will be able to communicate faster. Those who do business will have stalls, and a certain management fee will be collected. It will be used to maintain the fairness of the trade and to maintain the infrastructure. The people of Wangjiang will have more work to do. The construction of the 2 places, the houses for the people of Wangjiang, and the daily necessities they need this year will cost 300,000 strings of cash. Let alone 300,000 strings of cash. Even if they send us another 300,000 strings of cash, we'll find a way to spend it. After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he waited for the 3 old men's comments. In the end, those who heard him, apart from Wang Wan who was already in the know, looked at the surging river in a daze. Exiner opened her mouth and muttered, "It's too big. This isn't Lu Zhou's remote place. It's in a bustling place. With such a big restaurant, how much money can they make in a day? We can also sell a lot of furniture. The net profit will be at least 100,000 strings of cash. We'll have the money to repair the bridge. When the old man Pai heard his granddaughter's words, he regained his senses. He looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and said, "That's right. Your family actually came up with such a method to earn back the money needed to repair the bridge. That's ridiculous. Xiaobao, what if there's a flood? Can you guarantee that the Yangtze River won't flood in the future? If we can't earn 100,000 strings of cash, my family is planning to ship some good wood furniture over from Luzhou. Isn't the shipping cost money? There's no need to worry about a flood. This river won't be blocked again. It'll serve as a diversion. If there's a flood, we'll let the water continue to flow to the farmland. The loss will be paid for by the restaurant. We'll only narrow the river. When the time comes, we'll use iron chains to connect a bridge. We'll make the place where the restaurant is built into a river heart island. We've asked the craftsmen, and they said it's possible." Zhang Xiaobao hurriedly complained. Old man Pai stopped talking about Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan making money. Instead he asked, "Who's going to pay for the restaurant's profit?" "Of course it's going to be Wangjiang County's. The name has already been given. Cuckoo came up with it. It's called Wangjiang Tower. She even wrote the first half of a couplet. Wangjiang Tower, Wangjiang Flow, Wangjiang Tower, Wangjiang Flow. Zhangjiang Tower for eternity. Zhangjiang Flow for eternity." What do you think? This was one of the few couplets that Zhang Xiaobao could remember. It wasn't easy. He hadn't seriously studied before, and now he finally had a chance to show it off. Old man Pai and old man Yao didn't know. They thought that Zhang Xiaobao came up with the couplet himself. Not bad, it would be even better if there was a second half of the couplet. After hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words, everyone around who could understand the feeling of eating in such a restaurant started fantasizing. At this moment, Wang Wan's younger brother also blinked his big eyes. He imitated Zhang Xiaobao's words and said incoherently, "Wangjiang Tower, Wangjiang Flow, Wangjiang Tower, Wangjiang Flow. Zhangjiang Tower for eternity. Zhangjiang Flow for eternity." What do you think? Wang Wan didn't expect her usually quiet brother to have such a good memory. He remembered Zhang Xiaobao's words. In surprise, she hugged him and kissed him hard. Old man Pai also glanced at Wang Wan's younger brother. He was happy for the Wang family. As for being able to remember such a long sentence at such a young age, he didn't think too much about it. With Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, the two geniuses, compared to them, it was difficult for other children to surpass them. Old man Yao spoke at this moment. There should be a next sentence to this sentence. Wangjiang County took the money. So how is the money collected calculated? Is it distributed to the local people? Let's wait for others to think about the next sentence. Only a small portion of the money collected will be used for basic maintenance. Portion will be left. When the time comes, it will be used for farming. The rest of the money will be treated as Wangjiang County's tax and handed to the Shu State Prefecture. Then, the Shu State Prefecture will continue to hand it in. Wang Wan put down her brother and explained on behalf of Zhang Xiaobao. Then, the local people won't get any benefits. Old man Yao didn't understand this and asked again. Wang Wan answered again. How can there be no benefits? The restaurant needs a large number of people to do things, and it's the same for market maintenance. As long as there are no problems with the officials of Wangjiang County, the people of Wangjiang County will be able to enjoy this benefit generation after generation. Our family won't participate. In the future, whether this place is good or bad will depend on what kind of officials the imperial court sends. Old man Yao reacted this time. He thought about it and said, "Your family has given the imperial court a difficult problem. Money moves people's hearts. It's better for your family to participate. Don't be afraid. Prince Li is here. A part of the money collected is from him. If anyone dares to cause trouble, he will take action. Old Man Pai thought it through. After interacting with him for a long time, he knew what kind of person Li Sun was. The money obtained in Suzhou would definitely be used in Suzhou in the end. Now that the matter had been clarified, it was not up to the three old men to worry about whether it was a success or failure. They left the three children behind and prepared to accompany them to eat. They got on the car one after another. Just as the car started moving, Old Man Pai suddenly stuck his head out of the window and shouted at Zhang Xiaobao. "Xiaobao, I almost forgot one thing. The prescription that your family promised to hand over can't be delayed any longer. Wait for me to come back and choose one." Zhang Xiaobao thought that Old Man Pai had forgotten about this matter. He didn't expect that the old man had a good memory and still remembered it. He nodded helplessly and waved goodbye. He turned his head and said to the people standing beside the bubble, "Fishing, continue fishing." Xin was very happy to see her grandfather leave. When she heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, she asked, "Can we fish for a prescription?" "Fishing for a prescription. Yes, that's it. There's no need to take out the original good stuff. Hurry up and fish. After you catch it, see if there are any notes in the fish's stomach." Chapter 577. No one knew what kind of recipe Zhang Xiaobao could fish up. With the 7 little guys around, everyone's attention turned to them. Only Wang Wan was thinking about how fish could become a recipe. She sat down next to Zhang Xiaobao and watched Zhang Xiaobao fishing. She asked, "Fishing recipe? Do you want to make a good fishing rod or bait?" "Well, speaking of which, my grandfather is an expert. Besides, Grandpa Bai won't be satisfied with this recipe. Just to make some money. Do you want the imperial court to open a business to make fishing rods? If Grandpa Bai wants a recipe, it must be beneficial to the country and the people. I'm going to raise fish." When Zhang Xiaobao saw the float move, he immediately raised the rod. He didn't catch a single fish and withdrew the hook. The bait on the hook had been eaten up. When he put the bait on the hook, he said to Wang Wan, "What kind of recipe is raising fish? Didn't you use it a long time ago? Even if you want to trick Grandpa Bai, you can't use this to trick him." Wang Wan also took a fishing rod and gestured a few times, denying Zhang Xiaobao's idea. With a whoosh, Zhang Xiaobao threw in again. He looked at the small fish in the basin next to him and said, "That depends on what kind of fish you raise. I'm going to ask Old Man Pai to organize people to raise pufferfish. No matter how many there are in the Yangtze River, it's easy to catch them all. Besides, transportation is not convenient. It's easy to raise them in other places. As long as it's possible to raise them successfully, let people try raising them. Pufferfish, good stuff. Let's try it next spring. I'm not eating it. I'm afraid of death. Can the current technology work? I've never eaten it before. It's not delicious if it's not poisonous. I don't dare to eat poisonous things. I doubt that the antidotes are 100% safe. You're not allowed to eat it, and neither is your family. What if you get poisoned?" Wang Wan thought that Zhang Xiaobao would come up with a good idea. She didn't expect that he was preparing to start with the pufferfish. If other people raised all of them, the more people who ate them, the higher the probability of poisoning would be. Eating the spring pufferfish. Wouldn't it be better to find a rope and solve it themselves? It would be faster than dying from poisoning. Just as Zhang Xiaobao was about to speak, the float moved again. He hurriedly lifted it up. This time he caught more fish. There were 3 hooks in total. 2 of them bit the hook, and the other one was caught by the hook when he was lifting it up. When it was time to remove the hook, Zhang Xiaobao said to Wang Wan, "Who said we have to let others eat it? The locals haven't seen many deaths from eating it. I used to eat it a lot, and I even know a lot of stories about blowfish. It's said that a long, long time ago, the locals had never heard of anyone dying from eating it. Even so, he still won't eat it. Perhaps he won't take revenge even if he dies. Unless you can find a way to remove the poison from the pufferfish, I don't think there's any hope." Wang Wan didn't compromise at all. Seeing that Wang Wan insisted, Zhang Xiaobao nodded and said, "If you don't want to eat it, then don't eat it. The purpose of raising pufferfish is not to eat meat, but to make medicine. It can be used to make many kinds of medicine. You can tell this to the medical school and let them study it, try the dosage, and see what kind of diseases it can be used on. I know that it can be used to make anesthetics and to treat rheumatism. In fact, most of the time the reason why pufferfish is delicious is because of this poison. It's very, very little, the kind that won't kill people, but after eating it, it will affect people's nervous system. Do you think it can be used as a seasoning? After it's diluted, it can be mixed with the MSG made from kelp. When it's time to cook, this can be tried. Use your 3 dogs as an experiment. It's beneficial to the country and the people. The people who raise pufferfish will also make money because of this. All the pufferfish raised will be bought by Day Hospital. Yes, that's what I plan to do. It's a long-term plan. I believe that there will be a day when it will succeed. Many poisonous things have been used to treat diseases. Give it to Grandpa Bai. I believe that Grandpa Bai will be willing to carry out the plan. Why do I feel that this matter is not reliable? You are not allowed to touch my dogs. If you want them, go find them yourself. But don't feed them poisoned food in front of me. Wang Wan saw that Zhang Xiaobao said it well, but she always thought that it was too simple. Since it was proposed, then just do it. Even if it failed, she was not afraid. If she didn't take the first step, then she would never expect to succeed. Zhang Xiaobao didn't intend to put the idea forward. Someone would study the results immediately. He put down the fishing rod and said, "Let others do the research. If it's successful, then his or her name will be left in history. Since we don't eat pufferfish, then eat mandarin fish. We can't poison people to death." With the method, Zhang Xiaobao didn't wait for Old Man Pai and others to come back and ask. He directly wrote it and sent it to the 3 old men. It was a complete exchange of interests. This is raising pufferfish. That's quite daring. Old Man Chong received the plan written by Zhang Xiaobao and said, they actually came up with a plan after asking their family to come up with a prescription. They are really thoughtful. But if the medical school can really figure out a way, it can really help a lot of people. The people who are raising pufferfish will benefit, and the medicine can also save people. But why do I feel that this matter is not so simple? Don't they have their own goals? Old Man Yao now knew a lot about the Zhang family. Every prescription made by the Zhang family was not as ordinary as it seemed. The Zhang family would definitely benefit from such a prescription. For example, the prescription for growing vegetables in winter did benefit the people in the north, but the restaurant also had fresh vegetables in winter. Old Man Pai took the paper and stared at it, as if he wanted to see some other purpose from the words. He looked at it and said, if they want to use pufferfish in the restaurant, I think they don't have to support other people to raise them. If they directly ship them from the Yangtze River, the price will be higher. Besides, the things that the Zhang family does are not something that can be easily guessed by others. Many times they are puzzling, and when the results are out they will understand. Since they can't figure it out, then don't think about it. Let's see if they can raise pufferfish in the north. Won't they freeze to death in cold weather? When someone raises pufferfish, let more people raise them. Didn't they say that they will buy them all? Then we will sell them. In short, the people won't lose money. Old Man Pai said this, but in fact, he hoped that the medical school could find a way to use pufferfish poisoning, especially since it was written on the paper that it might be able to treat joint pain. This was a disease that many people suffered from. When they were young, they didn't pay attention. As a result, when they were older, it was too late to regret. He was like this. In the past, when it rained on a cloudy day, his left leg hurt so much that he didn't dare to move. Fortunately, after he met Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, he drank medicinal wine and soaked in it. As long as he was careful, he wouldn't be afraid of rain on cloudy days. However, too many medicines were used, especially ginseng. It was not something that ordinary people could afford. If pufferfish could really alleviate this disease, ordinary people could also use it. It was cheap. All of this depended on the medical school of Huayuan County, which represented the highest achievement of the Tang dynasty's medical school. While the three old men were looking forward to it, Zhang Xiaobao really did what he said. He really did ask people to find pufferfish, even if the season was not right. Then, he would try to see if it could be used in seasoning. If it was successful, then there would be many pufferfish in the future that could be used to make more seasoning. If it failed, then it would be like this matter had never happened. There wouldn't be too much loss. When the weather gradually turned cold, the food in Suzhou was all sorted out. Although a large area was washed away, the crab and mandarin fish was selling very well. Especially after the crab 8 pieces. Many people liked this set of tools. For a time, eating crabs was not just about eating meat, but also mixed with some kind of elegant thinking. Zhang Xiaobao did what he said. In addition to letting merchants come to taste the crab, the extra crabs were transported to other places to buy back food to make up for the lost rent. There was also a small success in the breeding. The pigs had not grown too big yet. Compared to the normal size of a pig to be slaughtered, it still took a few months to raise them. The poultry had not laid eggs, but this did not affect people's eating. For those who were bred in the breeding industry, some of them were killed to exchange for money or their own food. The money exchanged was used to pay back the loan. If they couldn't pay it back in 1 year, they would have to wait until the next year to pay it back. According to the practice of the local people, they would never be willing to eat it themselves. However, since Zhang Zhong and Li Sun came to Suzhou, when the people gained benefits, they changed their minds. In the past, they were short of money and had no good way. Even if they raised a few chickens, they would not be willing to eat them casually. They would leave them for emergencies or exchange them for necessities. Now it was different. With so many chickens, why not eat them? In the future, their lives would be better and better. There was no need to let their families suffer. When autumn passed and winter came, Suzhou began to transport things to the imperial court. There was money and food. It was all used by the fleet of the Zhang family and Wang family. People went down the river and then entered the canal. When they reached a frozen place, they changed to land. This time, Zhang Zhong wrote and sent the memorial to the imperial court. The officials in the imperial court all knew why the emperor sent Zhang Zhong to Suzhou. However, they were harmed there. They did not have any thoughts about the rent in Suzhou this year. But when the memorial was delivered, all the officials couldn't help but admire the Zhang family from the bottom of their hearts. This year's rent and tax had actually reached 280,000 strings of coins, and this was not including the money given to Li Sun and the copper ore shipped to the capital. Even Li Longji said, "That's really amazing." At the same time, he hated the previous officials in Suzhou even more. They did not mention the copper mine and the marble mine. They did not even think about how to help the people live a good life. The officials stood in the cold wind in the hall. In their hearts, they were thinking about how to let their families find a place to plant cold melons next year. This year, cold melons accounted for a large part of the tax paid by Suzhou. Chapter 578. When a rare snowfall fell in Suzhou, the bridge connecting the two banks was finally completed. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not know if the cement they made could withstand the impact of the river for a long time, but the two of them still built the bridge. It was not beautiful at all. The bridge deck was made of iron chains and wood. When one walked on it, it would sway. If it were two people at that time, there was no point in building such a bridge. It would be a waste of money and would be scolded to death. However, at this time, no one scolded them. Everyone thought of ways to praise them, especially the people near the bridge on both sides of the Yangtze River. After the first batch of merchants and nobles who came to participate in various activities and spent a lot of money and experienced the sound of firecrackers, they rushed to the bridge one after another. All of them seemed very excited. Fortunately, there were iron chains blocking the way. Otherwise, a few of them would have squeezed down. It was as if standing on the bridge for a while was an infinite honor. This group of people did not want to go down after getting on the bridge, so they all blocked the bridge. Zhang Zhong immediately posted a notice and asked people to stand on both sides of the bridge to read to the illiterate people. This rule was set. As for Xian Zhou, who was connected to the other side, he did not say a word. He tacitly agreed that Zhang Zhong's rule was applicable to both sides. After all, the bridge was built by him. At the same time, he did not dare to provoke Zhang Zhong at this time. Many people were paying attention to this. The bridge was built, but if one wanted to go from Xianzhou to Suzhou, they had to take a boat. The water had just been connected, and the bridge here had not been built yet. The diversion of the river would have to wait until next year to build a bridge. Even if it did not snow in winter, it was impossible to expect this bridge to be built before the new year. Taking advantage of this time, the people of Suzhou began to block the diversion of the river. Unlike last time, they could get a wage this time. After all, they were not helping with disaster relief. Wangjiang building was also under construction. It was all made of wood, not cement or iron. It should be ready for use next summer. The furniture bought from Luzhou was also on the way. The building was too big. Wangjiang County issued a notice to recruit people from all over the country to work. They divided the work into sections and finally connected the sections. This way the work speed would be faster. Lu Jiro, the minister of the Ministry of Works, also brought people over to see how the bridge was built. At the same time, she also wanted to see the electric lights. In addition to this matter, he also wanted to see his nephew. His nephew was now working for the Zhang family and was treated well. He was the only one who could enter the inner courtyard without signing a contract. Of course, the places he could enter were restricted. It was impossible for him to enter just any courtyard, especially Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's courtyard. There was no need to even think about it. That would expose the two of them. One order after another was issued from this courtyard. When Lu Jiro arrived with a large group of people, there were already a lot of people gathered in the largest courtyard of the Zhang family. In addition to the people from the inner courtyard of the Zhang family and Wang family, there were also the three old men and Old Man Pai and Old Yao's families. When Lu Jiro came, he didn't inform them in advance. Therefore, even if the people from the Zhang family who stayed in the capital to collect information sent the news, no one went to pick him up. When he entered the courtyard with his two followers, the first thing he smelled was the fragrance of the food. Smelled so good. He didn't eat anything at noon, so he was even hungrier now. After smelling the fragrance of the food, he couldn't wait to rush over and eat without caring about others. After swallowing a few mouthfuls of saliva, Lu Jiro finally found Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao. The two old men greeted him with their eyes and ignored him. Instead, they set their eyes on the stove used to cook. Following the gaze of the two old men, Lu Jiro suddenly widened his eyes as if he couldn't believe what he saw. The stove didn't burn firewood. Instead, there was a copper pipe connected to the back. The fire wasn't small, and the smell came from the pot when a chef was cooking. At this time, the follower beside him also had an expression of disbelief. It was the first time he saw a fire that didn't need coal or firewood. At this time, the chef had already finished cooking the dish. He looked at another pot that was steaming something and another pot that was stewing something. He brushed the big spoon in his hand and continued to cook the next dish. There were already 11 dishes on the table, but no one ate them. They just let the dishes cool down. In addition to the 3 stoves that were burning, there were also 4 copper pipes with flames on top of them. Lu Jiro wasn't hungry this time. He was already attracted by the stove. It wasn't until someone coughed that he woke up. He put his mouth between Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao's heads and asked, "Old Minister Bai, Master Yao, what is this thing?" Old Man Pai deliberately coughed. Looking at Lu Jiro's anxious appearance, he slowly said, "You haven't seen it before, right? Don't you think it's very strange? Think about a swamp somewhere. Someone put a bamboo tube in it and then lit it up." When Old Man Pai said this, Lu Jiro understood. It was recorded in the book. So it was like this. But what was the gas used to store so much? Even if they took the biggest water tank and sealed it, it was impossible to store so little gas in 3 stoves and 4 burning pipes. Lu Jiro didn't understand, so she asked, "Old Minister Bai, what was used to store the gas in the swamp? It had to be something as big as a house, right?" Could it be that Minister Lu thought that the Zhang family had nothing better to do and spent a lot of money to make something to store gas and then come back to cook? This time you didn't come in vain. You can see the bridge, you can see the light bulb, and you can also see this thing called marsh gas. You might not believe it, but the gas used to cook is made from feces, grass stalks, and other things. As long as the place is big enough and there are a few of them, the gas can be used continuously. At night you don't need to light an oil lamp, and you don't need to use firewood to cook. Old Man Pai shook his head and said. Lu Jiro was stunned. She was afraid that Old Man Pai was lying to her, so she asked Old Man Yao, "Master Yao, is this true? Why would I lie to you? This thing is good, but it's a pity that the Zhang family still wants to make money. The cement can't be taken out casually, and there's no need to think about the recipe. This thing can be used to build city walls. What if other people know about it? After the Zhang family makes money with the cement for 2 years, they will lower the price and build this marsh gas pool for the slightly wealthier people." Old Man Yao was reasonable. Even if he wanted the Zhang family to immediately sell the cement to the people and teach them how to make it, he could not let the Zhang family make money. Otherwise, they wouldn't make things in the future. Lu Jiro was also used to the Zhang family's way of doing things. If they should take out something, they would definitely take it out. If they shouldn't take it out, they would also not take it out. What a pity. Wouldn't it be better to let the people of Tang use it earlier? It doesn't matter if it's used for cooking, but the oil lamp is very good. It's actually feces. I thought feces have no other use except for farming. Good. Minister Lu may not know, but the feces can still be used to make fertilizer, and it's better than usual. If you raise dozens of pigs at home, you don't have to worry about not having enough feces. It's enough to support a big yard of more than 100 people. More importantly, the Zhang family is prepared to replace the fertilizer for free, saying that it can increase grain production. They want to sell this fertilizer around the rich families. It can also be used to raise fish, but it can only be used in nearby places. It's not convenient to transport it far away. Unless it's dried, it's not cost-effective and can't be bought at a high price. Later I'll ask them to tell you how to do it, or I can go with you to your house and help you build a yard. I'll tell you 50% discount. Old Man Bai told him everything that he knew. He also told him about the various twists and turns. Lu Jiro was depressed. Did she also have to spend money? 50% discount. You can just say it's half the price. It's not cheap. Her eyes were still fixed on the stove and she said, "Don't worry, I'm not going back right away. It's not easy to come here. Who told the Zhang family to put on airs? If it were other people, they would just send an order directly to the capital." At this time, the 12th stir-fry dish was done. The steamed food was also finished, and there was still stewing. Lu Jiro knew it was time for her to show up. Just now she didn't say anything, so they ignored her. Obviously they knew each other, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to enter the yard. She took 2 steps forward and said to Zhang Zhong, who was standing in the yard, "Provincial Governor Zhang, congratulations, you have another profitable business." "Oh, it's Minister Lu. I didn't know Minister Lu was here, so I didn't welcome you and—" "Okay, don't talk about it. Don't be so polite with me. Later you must tell me how to build this methane pool. When I return to the capital, I'll help people build a few more, especially in the palace. There are so many. What's the previous one? It's a waste. I think this one can also be used for heating, right?" When Lu Jiro saw that Zhang Zhong was about to start a polite conversation with her, she waved her hand and interrupted him. Her words were also very casual. She didn't want to distance herself from the Zhang family. Anyone who had a good relationship with the Zhang family would be able to get benefits. The good furniture in her house was sent by Lu Zhou, and it was very comfortable to use. They were genuine goods, not fake. When Zhang Zhong saw that Lu Jiro didn't speak in a bureaucratic tone, he also changed his tone and said, "There's no problem with heating. It's better than firewood and coal, and it doesn't emit smoke. If you really want to build it at home, you'll have to raise a few more pigs. It's better to dig a pond to raise fish, and build 3 ponds in rotation. Originally it was said that there was no rotation, but I didn't figure it out, so I can only use the stupid method. Zhang Zhong was speaking the truth, but Lu Jiro didn't listen to him. Turning feces and grass stalks into things that could be used for lamps and stoves was a stupid method. He was being too modest. Anyway, it was fine as long as it could be used in her house. It could save a lot of money for lamp oil and candles. If it could be used in the palace in the same way, it would save even more money. It would be a great merit. Thinking about it, Lu Jiro suddenly thought of the most important thing and asked, "Is it difficult to make this copper pipe?" Zhang Zhong nodded and said, "Indeed. If it's not done well, it will leak. This is the most troublesome." After making dozens of pipes, you can only find 2 or 3 that are not a problem. As for the rest, you have to put them in water to see where they leak. You can also apply glue to the outside and paint them, but you have to be careful. Chapter 579. Zhang Zhong didn't hide anything. He told Lu Jiro everything about the biogas pool, including what to pay attention to and the safety issues when using it. Even if he didn't tell him this now, he would still tell him when he built a biogas pool for other people in the future. He couldn't let other people be in danger. Lu Jiro was very grateful. This was money and it could be used to raise fish. Even if he didn't like to eat it, he could give it to the servants in the manor. Although he couldn't compare with the wealth and ability of the Zhang family and the Wang family, he could still treat the servants in the manor better. Zhang Zhong didn't accept Lu Jiro's gratitude. He understood one of Lu Jiro's ideas very clearly. Eating fish was good. It turned out that it was the southern fish and the northern sheep. One reason was that it was difficult to make, and the other was that the fishy smell of fish in the Yellow River was too strong. However, ever since his family began to teach others more ways to cook fish and spread the word that eating fish could make people smarter, the people in the north started to eat more fish. In addition, his son had specially given him a few recipes of seasonings and improved cooking wine. Thus the fish was pretty good. Lu Jiro came with a purpose. If he didn't let him see it, he wouldn't leave so quickly. It was almost the new year, but he still came here. Could be seen how anxious he was. After unexpectedly obtaining a biogas pool, Lu Jiro was very happy. He went to see the light bulb and the generator at Zhang Zhong's invitation. It was one thing to see it, but it was another thing to see it. It was amazing, really amazing. Could light up. After Lu Jiro touched the light bulb with her hand and was burned by it, she began to be interested in this thing. She looked at it again and again, but when she asked how to make it, no one told her. If she wanted to, she could take one of the generators back and disassemble it for research. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan promised Old Man Pai to write back, they had this idea. They wanted the Ministry of Works to help improve it. Wang Wan made it too simple. This light bulb is the most important part, right? Lu Jiro looked at the generator and then looked at the light bulb. She knew that the light bulb was made of glass. There were mirrors and small handicrafts made of glass at home. If the Zhang family didn't tell her how to make a light bulb, she wouldn't be able to make one. Zhang Zhong agreed and said, "Actually, the light bulbs are not important. What's important is this generator. It has a wide range of uses, but it's too simple to make. Lord Lu, you can take 2 of them back and take a look at them slowly. In fact, there are only copper wires and magnets inside. The exposed wires need to be wrapped with glue, otherwise it will hurt people. The most convenient thing to do with this is to electrocute fish. Put it in the water and turn it here. The surrounding fish will be electrocuted. There is a pond at home so you can use it too." Lu Jiro automatically erased Zhang Zhong's last sentence from her ears. After looking at the light bulb and the generator, it was time to eat. Lu Jiro was still hungry. She was in a hurry to get there, so she didn't want to waste too much time. The food was made with methane. Lu Jiro kept praising the food made with methane. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who were sitting at another table, heard Lu Jiro's praise and tasted the food again. They found that it wasn't as good as the food made by Chai Hua, especially the stew. It seemed that it was just a psychological effect. Lu Jiro ate quite a lot during this meal. She was so full that she ate 2 Dashan pills before she felt a bit better. She then dragged Old Man Bai and Old Man Yao to Old Man Bai's house to be guests. When the sky turned dark, the 3 people came back. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw the expression on the 3 people's faces and felt that something was wrong. Wang Wan whispered to Zhang Xiaobao, "Why do I feel like they came up with some bad idea again? They probably want us to take out other recipes. What do you think?" "Think so too. It's not that we can't give them the recipes, but we have to see how much benefits they can offer in exchange. Ever since Lu Jiro's news came, I've been preparing. Some recipes are not suitable to stay in my hands. I can take this opportunity to clean them up and make some money." Zhang Xiaobao looked at the 3 people who were pointing at the still-burning methane lamp, but their eyes were always looking at him. He already knew that the 3 people must have thought of something to exchange. "Then let's go. As soon as we leave, they will definitely be able to stop us." Wang Wan spent the afternoon with her family. Seeing the 3 people pretending to look at the lamp, she didn't want to waste time with them. She pulled Zhang Xiaobao and prepared to leave. As expected, the moment the 2 of them moved, Old Man Bai and the other 2 seemed to be strolling as they blocked the path that the 2 of them were about to take. Zhang Xiaobao first greeted, "Grandpa Bai, Grandpa Yao and Grandpa Lu, look at this fire. Cuckoo and I are sleepy, so we'll go back to sleep first. We'll study with Grandpa by tomorrow." As he spoke, Zhang Xiaobao immediately became sleepy. Wang Wan also cooperated with him and yawned. Old Man Pai and the other 2 people were stunned. They didn't know what to do. Just now they were pretending to look and didn't come over. Now that they wanted to go back to sleep, they couldn't stop them, right? If it was an adult, they could find an excuse, such as drinking tea or something. But in front of 2 children they couldn't. While the 3 of them were still in a daze, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took a detour and left. "If I knew earlier, I would have directly come over." Lu Jiro didn't understand Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, so she regretfully said. Tonight she had something on her mind, so she wouldn't be able to sleep peacefully. Old Man Pai heard Lu Jiro's words and said, "We were tricked. The 2 brats weren't sleepy at all. They knew that we wanted to talk to them about something. This was intentional. Just now we didn't directly look for them, so they were taking revenge. They went back to study. Then what do we do? Chase after them." Old Man Yao was also depressed. When he came, he already thought of what to say, but in the end, he couldn't find an opportunity. "Forget it, let's talk about it tomorrow." Old Man Pai looked at the direction the 2 people disappeared in and said helplessly. His mood suddenly became bad. He still had to wait for another night. Early the next morning during breakfast, Old Man Pai found Old Man Chong, who gave up the time yesterday. They went to the Zhang family to have a meal together. Without waiting for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to leave, he opened his mouth and called out to them. "Xiaobao, I heard from Minister Lu that there are people in the capital who see that your family's business is too big, so they want to deal with your family." Old Man Pai said to Zhang Xiaobao with concern. He wanted to show off his strength and intimidate, a blatant threat. Zhang Xiaobao's face immediately showed an anxious expression. He looked at Old Man Pai and said, "Grandpa Bai, is what you said true? That's over. The business there is not only done by my family, but also by Commandery Prince Li and many other businessmen. If someone really takes care of it, then what will happen to the people in the capital? So many businessmen have been providing firewood, rice, oil, and salt for the people in the capital and the surrounding areas. There is also the cloth for the cloth and the transportation for the ships. If we all praise them, then how will the people live? Especially when they hire a large number of people to do things. If they suddenly have nothing to do, then they won't be able to support their families. Grandpa Bai, you must think of a way. If it really doesn't work, Then my Zhang family and Wang family will withdraw all the business from the north of the Yellow River. I hope that when someone takes over, they will give the people benefits according to the rules of my family's business." Wang Wan also had a worried expression on her face. Yes, we can't afford to offend them. Let's hide. Grandpa Bai, thank you for telling us this in advance. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been prepared at all. I will go back and tell my family and see if we can bring the farmers with us. I hope that the people who take our position will treat the people of Sanshui County well. The people of Sanshui County are good. The four old men listened to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's grievances, but they didn't feel that they were afraid at all. This was a threat. No wonder the Zhang family found so many businessmen to participate in the business when it was done. They were working together. One move could affect the whole situation. Besides, Wang Wan's words meant that if the Zhang family and Wang family left Sanshui County, then no one else could have a foothold in Sanshui County. The people were all good people. The question was who was good to them. Old Man Bai did not make a sound. He had wanted to scare the other party, but in the end, he was scared by the other party. These two kids were very clever. Last night, they were tricked and did not sleep well the entire night. This morning, they did not manage to take advantage of the other party. They were at a disadvantage. Old Man Pai closed his eyes and started to reflect on himself. Old Man Yao came out. Xiao Bao, Cuckoo, don't be afraid. No one has the ability to bully your family. There are many people who say such things and have such thoughts, but they have to think twice. Besides, your Grandpa Bai and I, Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Lu will help you. We will help you sell the methane pool for more money. When your Grandpa Lu goes back, I will arrange this matter and let all the rich families in the capital buy it. You can't ask for money for the methane pool. You can ask for the rest of the money. Thank you, Grandpa Lu. Cuckoo and I will make something for the four grandpas to eat at noon. Blowfish sashimi. Zhang Xiaobao covered his chest with his hand and said gratefully. Xiaobao, the blowfish dish is not necessary. Mandarin fish is fine. Let your Grandpa Lu try it. Braised or steamed, you can do whatever you want. Old Man Chong quickly expressed his opinion. Lu Jiro suddenly understood why Bai Go and Yao Chong liked the two children so much. It was indeed interesting. The three important ministers were suppressed in a single meeting. Not only did they not take advantage of them, but they also suffered a big loss. It was just like their own grandchildren. As a grandfather, he was happy to suffer a loss. Xiaobao, Cuckoo, the furniture your family sent to me is very good. It is very comfortable to use. But other people don't know and bought fake goods. When I go back, I will tell them to throw away the fake goods. Just tell me which one you want to buy. I will write to you. You can directly send the goods from Lu Zhou. Good things must be known to others. Lu Jiro said another condition. Just now it was the biogas pool. The two transactions were settled. Wang Wan didn't say anything. She looked at Zhang Xiaobao. She meant to ask, do you want to trade or not? Zhang Xiaobao thought for a moment and said to Lu Jiro, Grandpa Lu, in fact, the biogas pool is not only suitable for people and pigs. It is also suitable for chickens, ducks, and geese. Grandpa Lu, let me tell you something. The thermometer made by our family can be used to hatch poultry. It can be used to hatch pigeons. It is very convenient to use. You just need to see the temperature of a chicken hatching an egg and then write it down. Then, you can accurately follow the temperature with a thermometer. It is a little hot or a little cold to see if it can hatch faster. It is also convenient to test. Also, the thermometer can be used not only on poultry, but also on livestock and people. If it is too hot in the mouth or under the armpit, it will be too much for a normal person. If it is too much for a normal person, it will be sick. You have to find a doctor. In a while, I will ask Cherries to write down the detailed method of hatching so that Grandpa Lu can use it at home. If other people want to use it, you can buy it. 10 strings of coins for one. If a village buys one, the whole village can use it. Can't be cheap. If it is cheap, the glass is worthless. Zhang Xiaobao took out the method of hatching poultry in exchange, and also sold a thermometer. The four old men looked at each other and finally breathed a sigh of relief. The method of hatching was indeed important. If it was coupled with a thermometer, as long as the people wanted to, they could hatch poultry at home. Hatching many at one time would save time, and it would not delay the hen from laying eggs. Lu Jiro was really convinced. Just like what Bai Chou said at the beginning, don't treat Xiao Bao and Cuckoo as ordinary children. Sure enough, this kind of hidden struggle, compromise, and exchange of interests was only used in the imperial court. Now it was actually used in front of two children. Furthermore, it was at a disadvantage. After all, one could not treat children the same way one treated adults. One could be hostile to adults, but one could not treat children the same way, right? Chapter 580. Zhang Xiaobao really handed over the hatching technology. The four old men were very happy. They didn't care about the technology for fun, but they were serious about people's livelihood. Of course, it was the same for weapons. Although it was an exchange of interests, the Zhang family and Wang family didn't get more help in terms of economic income. The biogas pools, high-end furniture, and thermometers could be sold without others marketing. The reason why Zhang Xiaobao was willing to exchange was mainly because of the appearance of thermometers. Even if no one exchanged with him, he would take out the hatching technology for everyone to use. In this exchange, Zhang family and Wang family got a kind of hidden help, an opportunity for the upper class of Tang to help stabilize. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan settled the matter, but someone felt uncomfortable. After breakfast, when others were busy, Cherries moved a stool and put it beside the canal in the yard. She sat there, holding her chin with her hands, and looked at the fish swimming in the water motionlessly. "Sister Cherries, what are you doing here?" Xiao Hong, who had also eaten breakfast, was preparing to lead the poultry army out for a walk. When she passed by, she saw Cherries' appearance and came to ask. "No, nothing, just sitting. Your furry is getting smarter and smarter. In fact, it can bring the team back even if you don't release it." Cherries and Wei Wei turned their heads and looked at Xiao Hong with envy. Xiao Hong smiled and said, "That's not good. If furry does it, I will have nothing to do. I'm now thinking about how to summarize the breeding of poultry and then write it down." Xiao Hong suddenly realized something and said, "I know. Sister Cherries has nothing to do, right? Everyone can hatch. Sister Cherries, you have nothing to do, right? No, it's not bad to be idle. I'm not so tired. You go and do your work. I'll go back after sitting for a while." Cherries looked very wronged. Her voice was as soft as a mosquito's buzzing. Sister Cherries, don't worry. Go find the young master and the young lady, and you'll have new things to do. I won't go first. Let Rong Rong lead the team out. Wait for me." After Xiao Hong finished speaking, she turned around and ran. She came to the shed specially built for her, ordered someone to open the door, and called out the big goose Furry. She squatted down, hugged Furry's neck and said, "Furry, you take them out today. Remember to listen to people and don't run around. Come back at noon. I have something to do." In the Zhang family and the Wang family, in addition to the magical young master and the young lady, the most magical thing was this goose. Could be said to be one in a million. It was very smart. Especially after following Xiao Hong for several years, it could understand Xiao Hong's meaning very well. After hearing Lil Red's words, it chirped twice to show that it understood. At least, that was how Lil Red understood it. You go out with Rong Rong. Wherever it doesn't let the ducks and geese go, don't go to that place. It's easy to be dangerous. After instructing Rong Rong, Xiao Hong also told her subordinates to do the work. They didn't dare to oppose. After making a promise, Xiao Hong ran back to Cherries. She pulled up Cherries, who was still staring at the fish in the water, and walked to the young master and the young lady's courtyard while saying, let's go to the young master and the young lady for work." I don't think it's good. Cherries flinched. Even if she did feel that she had lost her job and fell from a high position, she still didn't dare to tell the young master. "What's wrong? We are the first people to follow the young master and the young lady. Let's go. Xiao Hong dragged Cherries away with all her strength. The kindergarten is built here. Find the children nearby and divide them into classes according to their age. Then arrange Xiaobei and the others in so that more people can play together. Zhang Xiaobao drew on a piece of paper and said to Wang Wan, who was sitting next to him. Wang Wan was sorting out the very messy way of educating children written by Zhang Xiaobao. She turned her head to look at the things that Zhang Xiaobao drew and said, "Are they all for fun? Don't let others teach them to read. You've already taught Xiaobei and the others. What about the other children?" "That's different. The other children need half a year to adapt before they can be taught how to read. Xiaobei and the others are raised from prenatal education. The nutrition is also different. The other children may not be able to keep up." As soon as Zhang Xiaobao mentioned the younger siblings, the image of the children appeared in his mind. All of them were healthy. This was the happiest thing. But didn't Xiaobei and Xiaobei also follow? You have to admit that there are geniuses, such as Xian Er, Lu Er and Wei Wei. But didn't you say that all children are geniuses? But I don't have so much time to explore every child. I can only give them a popular education. When there are more kindergarten teachers, then I'll talk about it. Right now I'm just letting them play. Playing is also a way to develop their intelligence. Help me think of other fun games. As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, he started drawing on the paper again. Wang Wan thought for a moment and said, "Make a set of chimes and hang them there for them to play with. The sound it makes is different. Perhaps it can develop their musical talent." "Okay, get someone to do this." Zhang Xiaobao agreed. While the two of them were discussing education, Xiao Hong dragged Cherries over. Cherries didn't seem to dare to face Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. She hid behind Xiao Hong, lowered her head, and didn't make a sound. Seeing the two of them come over, Zhang Xiaobao, who had stopped drawing, asked curiously, "Why are you here?" "It's nothing. Just walking around," Cherry hurriedly said. Xiao Hong tugged at her and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Young master, you've handed over the incubation recipe and the thermometer. Sister Cherries has nothing to do." I see. How can she have nothing to do?" Zhang Xiaobao was even more puzzled. Wasn't the incubation matter fine? Why was it fine? "Young master, in the past, only Sister Cherries knew how to incubate. Others couldn't. Now that there's a thermometer, others can practice and be like Sister Cherries." Xiao Hong added. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan both understood. It turned out that Cherries felt that her dominance in incubation was being threatened. Wang Wan pulled Zhang Xiaobao behind her. She came close to Xiao Hong and Cherries. She looked at Cherries' evasive gaze and said, "Masters in any field are not only because of their proficiency, but also because of their research spirit. Look at Pomegranate. No one can shake her position. Even if we teach everyone the method of growing fungus, no one dares to say that they are better than Pomegranate. Look at what she's growing now. She has tremella, and 3 kinds of mushrooms. She should be studying how to grow ginseng now. Any industry is actually a field like the sea. What are chickens, ducks, and geese? They're just 3 kinds of ordinary poultry. Yes, only 3 kinds. There are more kinds. In the future there will be disease prevention. Cherries, you'll give the poultry you hatch to Xiao Hong when they grow up. When all kinds of diseases appear, you'll find that it's not easy to raise them. Let me tell you a short story. There was a person who used his family's martial arts to attack people with his hair. He tied his hair together like a whip. It was very powerful. Others called him the magic whip. Later, long hair was not allowed in that place, so weapons like fireworks appeared. Zhang Xiaobao interrupted and began to tell them a story that was very old for him. After telling the story, he asked Xiao Hong and Cherries, "Now you understand, right?" Cherries, who was still confused just now, suddenly had her eyes lit up. She nodded and replied, "I understand. The whip is gone, but the god is still there. I know what I should do. There are more birds and more animals that hatch with eggs, such as snakes and crocodiles. I'll ask the doctors to prepare a soup for them to eat. I'll find all the hatched eggs I can find and study them. When the time comes, others will only know how to hatch eggs. I'll still have something to do." After hearing Cherries' words, Wang Wan glanced at Zhang Xiaobao and had to sigh. Zhang Xiaobao's grasp of psychology was really extraordinary. Cherries regained her confidence with a story. Then she said, "That's right. Cherries, in fact, in our hearts, you've always been the best at hatching. No one has ever been able to replace your position. As for disease prevention, you should discuss it more with Xiao Hong in the future. This is the domain of the two of you." Cherries, who regained her confidence, finally showed a smile on her face. She looked at Xiao Hong gratefully and said that she would go back to think about it immediately. Then she pulled Xiao Hong and ran away. After the two of them left, Wang Wan turned her head and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "It seems that we have to worry about the people in the inner courtyard again. If there's a first, there will be a second one. What should we do?" "Publish a book. Let them write what they know. If they write more, print it and sell it. They'll get a part of the money from the sale, and they'll also have to sign their names. Use this to encourage them to continue working hard." Zhang Xiaobao thought of a way to encourage them, and things immediately went according to his plan. The Zhang family had their own printing equipment. When a book of chickens, ducks, and geese hatched and corrected appeared on the table in Cherries' room 20 days later, Cherries smelled the ink on it with all her might. In just a few days, the news that the young master and young lady had written a book for Yingtao had spread throughout the inner court. When they saw the words "author" Zhang Yingtao on the book, the people in the inner court began to make a summary of what they had done as if they had gone crazy. They also hoped that one day, their names would be printed on a book. That would be a kind of glory. Those who did the same thing would communicate with each other and discuss how to print their names on the book when the time came. Old Man Pai and the other 3 people each had a book in their hands. When they opened it, they realized that hatching wasn't that simple. There were many details in the book, and if any of them were not taken care of, the eggs that could originally hatch chickens and ducks could be spoiled. This should be the first book written by a person who signed a death contract, right? Old Man Chong said as he touched the cover of the book with his hand. Chapter 581. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan published a book for Cherries, which not only affected the people in the inner courtyard, but also shocked other people who knew that the Zhang family published a book for a maid. Some people were surprised that the Zhang family treated their servants so well. Most of the time, even if a maid did something wrong, the master would be responsible for it. However, the Zhang family didn't do that. The book was indeed signed under Cherries' name. While they were envious of Cherries, they also dreamed that one day they could also print their names on paper and let the world know about it like Cherries. This kind of person couldn't be said to be short-sighted. After all, the things they came into contact with were different. There were also people who were far-sighted, especially those who had many servants at home, who were amazed by the maids of the Zhang family. If a maid could do this, then what about the master? As soon as Cherries' book appeared, it caused a stir in Suzhou. People who were preparing to hatch their own birds had to buy a thermometer and a book to learn. When they felt that the thermometer was convenient to use, they remembered that it was written in the book that in the beginning, people used their hands to feel the temperature. They couldn't help but admire the maid who wrote the book. That kind of life was the most difficult. Presumably, she had suffered a lot. How did the pair of hands that could accurately feel the temperature of the air grow? In an instant, Yingtao became a godlike figure in the hatching industry. When everyone hatched their own birds, the first person they thought of was Yingtao. They knew that there was such a servant girl. She created the precedent of artificial hatching and stood at the peak. Seeing that her sister Cherry succeeded, Xiao Hong was happy and began to organize her experience on how to free and take care of the birds. She planned to let the young master and the young lady see if there were any omissions in a few days. Then she would follow Cherries and publish the book. A book that Cherry had poured her heart and blood into was actually only 40 pages long, but this 40-page book was actually sold for 30 copper coins. The demand could not meet the demand. The Zhang family continued to print and sell this book and the thermometer to more places. When the rare second snow fell in Suzhou, Old Man Pai once again found Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Xiaobao, I want to discuss something with your family. If you publish a book in the future, you have to tell us first. Some books can be published, but some can't. No. I will discuss it with Grandpa Bai in the future. You can read the content first. If you feel that it won't leak important secrets, then publish it. Zhang Xiaobao understood Old Man Pai's words. In fact, even if Old Man Pai didn't say anything, Zhang Xiaobao wouldn't write anything that needed to be kept secret. He wasn't a fool. Seeing that Zhang Xiaobao agreed without hesitation, Old Man Pai was relieved. He was really afraid that Zhang Xiaobao's family would write about the fireworks production. Selling books wouldn't make any money. He said, in fact, Cherries' books are restricted now. Anyone who buys them must keep it a secret. They are not allowed to spread it outside of Tang dynasty. Everyone who buys them must leave a record of their place of origin. If the same hatching method appears in other places, then once we find out who it is, we will not let them go easily. This can't be controlled, right? Zhang Xiaobao asked. Still, we have to control it as much as possible. That's why we don't want you to casually publish books, Old Man Pai said firmly. Okay, in the future we will only publish books with simple content. Grandpa Bai, how about this? We will build a big technical college in the coastal area. We can let people from Japan and other countries come to study. 100 people will form a class. If there are fewer people, we won't open a class. Every person will have to take out something equivalent to 100 strings of coins every month as a training fee. What do you think? Zhang Xiaobao suddenly thought of something and asked Old Man Pai. Old Man Pai was shocked. He looked at Zhang Xiaobao as if he was looking at a traitor. If he didn't see Zhang Xiaobao every day, he would have thought that Zhang Xiaobao was replaced. Xiaobao, are you sick? Quickly get your family's doctor to take a look. What are you talking about? Do you want others to learn all the good things? Old Man Pai was angry. Zhang Xiaobao knew that he could not explain it clearly, so he said, Grandpa Bai, I'm not sick. Even if we find people to learn, we might not be able to teach them all the good things. That's what I think. Zhang Xiaobao explained his idea to Old Man Pai in detail. After hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words, Old Man Pai suddenly felt that Zhang Xiaobao wasn't as cute as he used to be. He wasn't as kind, at least when compared to other countries. Don't do it yet. Let me discuss it with the others first. Old Man Pai, who was frightened by Zhang Xiaobao's plan, didn't continue to talk about publishing books. He turned around and went to find the other 3 old men. This is Xiaobao's idea. Ruthless, really ruthless. After hearing Old Man Pai's words, Old Man Yao evaluated Zhang Xiaobao. Old Man Chong was also very surprised. How did Xiaobao come up with this idea? He actually used good technology as bait and then tricked people from other countries to come over and learn. That's not all, but he only has half an hour a day to teach others the technology. The rest of the lessons are all about ideological education. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that the technology to be taught must be things from Tang. There are things from all over the country. It's best if you can trick them into giving us all the good things. Today, I will allow you to use all your tricks to trick others. Zhang Xiaobao looked at Wang Wan in a daze. He didn't expect that Wang Wan, who usually didn't show off, would have such a strong desire for revenge. She took out the future to take revenge on others in advance. Zhang Xiaobao wanted to tell her that the future generations would have their own good fortune, but when he thought of her family's situation, he couldn't say it. She also had to take care of the future generations. Do you really want to do this? Zhang Xiaobao asked again. Yes. Hurry up. Don't tell me you don't have a way. Wang Wan replied expectantly. In fact, it's very simple. That is, Use renewable resources to exchange for non-renewable resources. You just have to use the method that other countries used to deal with us 100 years ago. You should know how to do this without me saying it, right? Yes, you can play here. I'll go organize it. Wang Wan was happy. In fact, with her intelligence, there was no need to ask Zhang Xiaobao about this kind of thing. One reason was that she had developed a habit of leaving the scheming to Zhang Xiaobao. Another reason was that she wanted to obtain Zhang Xiaobao's support. Seeing Wang Wan run to the side to think of a way to harm people, Zhang Xiaobao also began to make plans for his father. Originally, he had planned to stay in this place for 2 years. Now that the bridge had been repaired and the local farming had started, it was likely that Li Longji would change his father's location. The best place was Luoyang. He would first familiarize himself with that place before moving to the capital. He just didn't know who would be able to snatch the position of provincial governor. Being a county magistrate and the provincial governor of 2 provinces was still not enough. Other people could be the provincial governor of 7 or 8 provinces. Little young master, I'm back. When it was time for dinner, before Zhang Xiaobao could figure out what to do, Ernie ran in from outside. He had gone to Shandong to transport my fan stones. He had bought all the places that produced my fan stones. He had been running back and forth. Su Si was the one overseeing the situation there. He had transported a large amount of my fan stones to be used in Wangjiang Restaurant. Wangjiang Restaurant would integrate all kinds of services into one in the future to help Li Sun earn more money. Even Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't lack gambling and erotic services, which Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were very disgusted with. Since gambling couldn't be banned, then it was better to earn the money of the rich. As for erotic services, there was no way to stop it unless one could really abstain from sex. Little young master, what should we fix this time? Is it still steam? Ernie asked when he saw the little young master deep in thought. There's no need for steam. Let's use a hot spring. Zhang Xiaobao raised his head and said. But we didn't find any warm underground water here. Ernie was puzzled. Can't we just boil the water and soak the my fan stones? Go and find someone to do it. When it's done, let me know. Zhang Xiaobao instructed Ernie. You're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.